So I started a conversation with my guy, and the conversation started like this. I said, look at every major country in the world. They have influence from the world. She said, that's not true. Everything in our country was done by our great leader and this and this and that. And I said, yeah, but, your great leader has Western influence. Now I'm going into the yellow.
You said that?
Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So
how'd she look at you when you said that?
She gave me this look. She says, I had two sides to me. I had the gang life, and then I had the sports, right?
How early were you exposed to the gang life? Do
12,
you remember?
12, yeah.
Is that like when you just became aware that it existed, or like they were trying to pull you in?
Oh, no, I always knew it. I always knew it existed. In the projects, like, you always knew it existed. Because, you know what? A lot of, and the way you get exposed in different ways, but the way that I first got exposed to gang life, and I never talk about, because people never ask me this question, is that someone wanted me to hold a gun for them.
Hey guys, the best way you can help this show if you're on YouTube is by hitting the subscribe button and smashing that like button on this video every single week when we put out an episode. And if you're over on Spotify, following the show and leaving a 5-star review are the best things we can get. So thank you to all of you who have already done those things, and thank you to all of you who are going to do them now. Also, we are going to have a Patreon episode coming out the day after this episode releases on YouTube and Spotify, so keep your eye out for that, and the Patreon link is in the description below.
They got into some stuff, and they would, I guess police were chasing. I was really young, so I don't remember, but they said, hold this, I'll get it from you later. And it was a gun. And
like,
so,
on just coming up to you on the street?
Yeah. Well, it's not really in the street, but in my projects.
Got it.
And of course, even you're young, we're outside, right? We're in front of the building all the time. We know who the people are. Young kids know what's going on. They know. And so I just held it, and he came back and got it later. But that was like the first kind of being exposed to it. And yeah, man, it was just crazy. So that was one side of me. And then the other side of me was sports. So sports numbed me to the abuse that was going on at home. Like, my father was a narcissistic abuser who physically abused me and my mom. My mom more than me. My mom got beat up all the time. And
how young were you when you first saw that?
Oh my God, this I probably don't remember. I mean, my mom's been getting beaten up since I was like 1, because my mom and my dad divorced probably when I was 1, because I don't remember my mom.
was beating her after they divorced.
No. That's my stepfather. That's my stepfather. So my mom and dad divorced maybe when I was, I don't know, 1, because I don't remember. I don't have no recollection of my mom and dad together. There's no memory whatsoever. So that means that it had to be early. So what's the earliest age that you probably can't remember anything, right? I think at 3, you can kind of remember something at 3. I don't remember. I don't even have any memory of them together at all. Right. So my mom remarried this crazy narcissistic abuser, and he's been beating her up since I was a kid. Like, I grew up watching this all the time. And so that was so the second side was the sports.
Well, actually, let's stay on that for a minute.
Yeah.
That's some heavy shit. I mean, obviously you have a decent feeling at a young age to, like, oh, this is not good. This is not right that this is happening. It's not like you're like, oh, this is normal. But, like, were you angry at him? Did you want to take it out on him? Were you?
Yeah, it's so I remember maybe at 6 years old, at 6 or 7 years old, I was thinking of ways that I could kill my stepfather. Like, and a 6-year-old, you can't do nothing. Right. But I was always a smart kid. And I remember one day I climbed up on the chair, and my stepfather took capsules, like some medicine, and they were in capsules, and you know, in the project, sometimes we get a lot of rodents or roaches. And the way we used to kill roaches is with boric acid. So you take the boric acid powder and you sprinkle it along the corners of the floor. The roaches walk on the boric acid and their legs melt, like it burns their legs. And then they die. And so I was always trying to think, how could I take this boric acid and put it into this capsule? These are things that I thought about as a 6-year-old kid.
6-year-old.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So I would look at it. I wouldn't know how to do it. Like I never attempted to do it because I knew the boric acid was dangerous. So technically I really didn't want to touch it. But I would look at it and I would just think like, how could I get this in here without myself getting hurt?
Yeah.
And those are things I thought about as a kid. Like I always, even you know, from watching cartoons, right? You watch cartoons, you see the crazy thing. They take the sock and they put it into the muffler. Or movies, they put it in the muffler. You know that trick? So at the carbon.
No, I don't. I'm trying to picture it.
Oh, you don't know about that?
No.
Yeah.
I might, but like I'm trying to picture what you're saying. I can't get it.
So they take a cloth or sock or whatever, and they push into the muffler so that the carbon dioxide is going to come out and it goes in. So I was thinking about stuff like that as a kid. Like maybe if I just put a whole bunch of stuff into his muffler, right? Maybe the carbon dioxide. And at the time, I didn't know it was carbon dioxide. But I knew that if you put something in there, something else wouldn't come out and you'd probably pass out and die.
Right.
So like, those are the things that I thought about all the time as a kid. Like, how could I stop my stepfather from beating up my mom?
Did you ever talk to your mom about it? Like as a young kid?
Actually, no. We never had we never had a real conversation. That never. It was either, so what would happen is they would argue. My mom was very, you know, kind of fight back person. Then that would cause him to get more angry. Then he would beat her up, like physically. And then she would be crying or bloody. And then as a kid, you want to hug your mom. So I would go and hug my mom, you know. And then what would happen is they would go upstairs, make up, have sex, and then guess what? I'd be punished. Yeah, exactly. How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, so I would be punished. And that was my stepfather controlling the situation. So my stepfather, he was illiterate. He couldn't read and he couldn't write. Really, he couldn't read, couldn't write. Yeah. But he was a master carpenter. He could build anything, you name it, he could build it. And that's how he got by. And that was a kind of a tactic to control. He had the idea. He used to always say, "I'm the king of this castle," right? And that was a tactic to let me know as a young kid that he was the king. That even if I beat up your mom, you can't do anything.
I'll beat the shit out of you.
Yes, and if you try to help her, you'll just be punished.
What would happen when he would beat the shit out of you, though? Would your mom step in? Or?
No, she would just hug me or maybe they argue a little bit and then she get beat up. Like, you know, I talk about this a lot. You know, he systematically tried to break us down. And what I mean by that is that usually a parent may say some things that they don't mean when they're angry. Like, you know, oh, you're a stupid kid, or you're going to be a failure, or you'll never amount to anything, right? And that's usually out of anger, right? I don't think most parents in a calm way, when you're happy, will try to put you down or tell you you're a failure. He would do something, his typical thing of what he would do would be something like this. Let's say I had a great day at school, right? I come home, I'm happy, right? And I'm happy, and then he might say, well, how was your day at school? Oh, my day at school was great. He goes, well, it doesn't matter because you're going to be a failure all your life anyway, right? And as a kid, this is systematically trying to break me down and trying to make me believe that this is true, right? Because he didn't want any of us to be higher than him because he was supposed to be the king of the castle. And that's what he did. So the abuse was not only physical abuse, it was also the mental abuse.
That's, I mean, to have to take all that in at a young age, it sounds like you had a decent psychological read way before I was even thinking about what a psychological read was. And this guy, you know, is, as you say, like a textbook narcissist. But, I mean, the trauma of having to see that over and over again and be subjected to it, You know, I often, when I meet people who are as, you know, outgoing and happy-go-lucky as you, it amazes me even more when I hear that that's like the environment you knew, because in a lot of ways, like, you're overcoming all odds to become the happy person you are today, and that's an amazing thing. But I mean, what did this guy ever leave did your mom leave him at some point, or
Nah, man.
is she still with him?
Nah, well, actually, they both passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So no, it's fine. It was crazy. She never left him, ever. Not only did she not leave him, she never acknowledged. You know, she never acknowledged to me. You know, I don't care if you don't acknowledge to everybody else, but to your son who went through it. You know, because not only that, remember, my mom had another child by him. So not only was
How much younger was that child?
maybe like 4 years, 5 years, and not only were we're both getting abused, but I still had the pressure of that's his child, and whatever he did was great, whatever I did was bad.
Oh, so he would treat.
Oh hell yeah! Listen. He would treat my stepbrother so good, to the point where I would force my stepbrother to say he did shit that I did. So let's say I broke something in the house. I would force my stepbrother to say that he did it. And I would make him take the blame for it. Because I knew that if he said he did it, he wouldn't get in trouble. But if I said I did it, I'd be in a lot of trouble. So I had that as well. So I hated for a long time, like the younger years, like I hated my stepbrother. I actually bullied my stepbrother a lot when we were growing up, because he was always the one that, oh, he's great. And my stepfather would make sure that I understood that I'm not his child, that's his child, and his child's better than me. And he made sure that I understood this. And yeah, I completely hated my stepbrother. But yeah.
Do you have a relationship today?
He passed too.
Oh Jesus!
It's crazy. It's you know, so, and it's all around the same. It's so weird, man. It's all around the same. Actually, my stepfather passed a while ago, and the only way I found that, so I stopped talking to all my family, like all of them, every person in my family. I
When
don't
was that?
talk to. So what happened was I had got into some trouble in school. I got sent to Africa for 2 years. Instead of
You got sent to Africa.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's a first. Never heard. I got in trouble in school. I got sent to Africa. That's a new one.
Yeah. So the Africa thing was crazy. I got caught with a loaded weapon in school, and I had been in trouble already. By this time I was 14 years old, and I was already in trouble. I've been arrested a couple times for serious shit, and the judge was like, you know, trying to give me 10 years as a juvenile. And the worst thing you can do to a kid is put him in jail for that long.
Yeah.
Now, I always had good grades. And the reason why I had good grades was I sort of was like an entrepreneur at a young age. You know, I delegate my work to people. Seriously. Because let me tell you why. You know, the reason why, because I needed two things in my life, as we talked about earlier. I needed that gang life, and I needed sports. I needed sports even more than the gang life. So how do you stay on the teams if you can't pass classes, right? If you can't pass, you fail. You can't be on the team. And if I didn't have sports, I don't know. I'd be in jail for sure, or dead somewhere. So I needed the sports, and I delegate work. I would tell kids, hey, you got to take these notes. And, you know, what do you get out of it? You don't get your ass beat. You know, I'm going to protect you. My boys are going to protect you. I got your back. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And I would delegate my shit. And I would always know what's going on. Teachers was like, how the fuck is this kid passing? How is he passing? Because I cut out of school a lot, you know, but I always got the work done. And when I needed to study something, I did. And I think also some of the teachers were a little bit, you know, kind of like more lenient with me because they knew, like teachers know, bro. Like if you're a gangbanging, teachers know. it's not the and no one wants to be the one to like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna fail this kid, right?
Yeah.
It can be a little bit of a problem. So, you know, I got by and I was able to, you know, to do sports and that stuff. And now I forgot where we were going with this.
Africa. You got
so
sent to Africa for 2 years.
So I was able to do the sports, and so when I got arrested, my mom was able to convince the judge that, look, he has good grades.
Don't worry about how.
Right. He, you know, he's a good student. He does well in school. He's on these teams. You know, I even joined the debate team one time. Like, you know, my school record looked good, but me as a person, I wasn't good. And so my mom says, listen, we're gonna send him to boarding school in Africa. Freaking Africa.
Of all places.
In Africa. So I wind up, the judge somehow
like far
agreed,
away.
Far away. The judge agreed. I wind up going to Africa.
Where in Africa?
To Nigeria.
So you like, what was it like? Like, what kind of boarding school?
It sucked, bro. It sucked.
Was it like a military type thing, or was it like a regular?
Sort of like. Well, the school culture, all the school culture is sort of like military. It's you know, you don't have the option to learn. You are forced to learn. It's a different culture. Like, for example, if you're in class and the teacher gives you a question and tells you to put it on the board, if you write the wrong thing down, you get hit. Yeah, you get hit. So it's very military like. And then when I went there,
how'd your parents land on a boarding school in Nigeria?
I have no idea, bro. It's just crazy.
Like, Googled it or something?
Well, no. I'm sure it's through family, friends. You know, a lot of you'll hear this a lot from a lot of people from Africa, and they'll be like, if your kid acts up, just send them to Africa.
Really? That's a thing?
Listen, because they'll beat the hell out of you. Let me tell you, one thing I did learn from going there was respect for older people, right? Everything is by age. But for me there, it was really difficult because I had to prove myself again, right? Because you would think that being black, going to Africa, you wouldn't experience what? Racism. I experienced more racism there than I did here.
Yeah.
Because they were like, who's this kid? You're not, they're like, you're not the real black. What do you mean I'm not the real black? I'm the same color as you, bro.
The American.
Yep. Yeah. They used to call me the kid who eats butter.
The kid who eats butter.
I
don't even know what that racism is. like that's like some high level racism, right? Right over my head.
And what it meant was that I was soft. Oh. So they would call me in their language the kid who eats butter. That I was soft. So I spent a lot of time there fighting.
Wait, they would call you in their language?
Yeah.
So they weren't. But at school they're speaking English, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to learn.
Like the British, and that was another problem. That was another problem too, because I was like, yo, we don't say it like that. And like, we speak the British. I'm like, yo, but we don't speak whole British
we
English.
Speak the Brooklyn.
Yeah. Bro, it was crazy. And so I spent a lot of my time just trying to prove myself. So I fought a lot. I remember my first fight. I joined the Boy Scouts there. And,
they had Boy Scouts?
Yeah. We're gonna get to something even more crazy than Boy Scouts. I joined the Boy Scouts, and they were just messing with me, bro. They were just like, "Oh, you're soft." And I remember my first fight, man. And I was the kind of kid that when I fought, a lot of times, you know, growing up, I always had weapons. I had a knife, had, you know, the brass knuckles. I had guns.
Oh, you had brass knuckles?
Oh, yeah, when I was a kid.
Badass.
Yeah, I had guns. I had all kinds of stuff. And
did you have to get fitted for those?
No, that's a good one. But yeah, and I remember my first fight, man. This kid was just like, would not stop. And I was the kind of person that I would hold stuff in until I started tearing. And then once the tears come out, then I'd become like just crazy. So I would just, it was weird. I was always like that. Like I could hold stuff until I started tearing, and then I would tear, and then all of a sudden now it was crazy. I remember I hit this kid one time so hard, man, and he had a knot that was like a golf ball in the corner of his top of his eye, bro. Got some respect then, and then I joined this thing called the Man of War. And Man of War was I don't even know how you explain it, man. It's like trying to be. It's like being in the most militant army without even being in the real militant army. So you're doing all the training. It's like Boy Scouts times 20,000. The uniform is different. Like you don't wear that little thing with the thing that goes behind your back. No,
you're not a Weeblo.
No, you wear a real military suit with a beret and some.
With the beret.
With a beret
they're
and
like official.
some combat boots, and they make you do crazy things like standing up and just putting your arms like this and falling straight down, and you have to do it. You stand up, just fall like a tree, straight,
and just land on your arms.
Yeah, arms all bruised up, swollen. Crazy. So I joined that.
Was that through the school? Or
No.
That was a totally separate thing.
Just random, just outside of school.
And you're living at the school because it's a boarding school.
Living at
You're
the
not
school.
like living with a host family or something.
Right.
Okay.
And then I learned about this from someone at the school, and I joined it, and it was crazy. But this gave me the mental mind to say that my stepfather, when I go back, my stepfather's never gonna hit my mom again. Like at this point, I was like a man.
And you were, how old exactly were you when you first got sent over there again?
14.
14. So 14 to 16.
Yeah. So now I felt like, I'm so strong, strong as I felt no one could take me,
So there was the judge agreed to you going there for 2 years, and then when that was
technically.
Okay.
When I came back, I was like, I'm not going back. I was like, I told my mom, if you send me back, the first flight, the first stop that plane makes, you'll never see me again. I didn't want to go back there. I couldn't go back there. It was just too crazy. I would love to go back there now that I'm older, because I can appreciate it, because of that place, I learned about respect. I had no respect for anyone. It didn't matter if you were 70. I didn't care. I had no respect for anyone. But when going there, I learned about respect, because everything was about age. If someone was one day older than you, that's your older brother. You have to respect them.
How did that, how fast was that able to kick in, though? Because you said they just beat the shit out of you for
real
anything.
fast, bro. Because you don't have a choice. Listen, the first day, and I had it bad, because the first day that I went to school, right? The first day I went to school, I did have a host family, by the way. They made sure that, all the paperwork and stuff like that. So they.
Oh, so you did live with a family?
No. I lived in school, but there's a family that is someone that has to look over after me, not only the school, and they have to do the paperwork. And so they had me at the school, and they were doing the paperwork at the time, and I was there just, kind of hanging out. So I wasn't in school yet. I wasn't a student yet. They were doing paperwork. I was just outside. But the school is in a compound, so I'm in the compound. And some guy comes up to me and hits me in the head with a stick for no reason. Hits me in the head with a stick. Seriously. Bang! Right in the head. And says something in his language. And I just flip out and I start swinging at him. That was the principal of the school. And
you started swinging at the principal? Yeah.
And swinging at the principal of the school is equivalent to seeing the president of the United States and swinging on him. And that made my school year even worse. Because people were like, who? Because you don't, that's something.
You don't do it.
Yeah. They were like, who is this kid? So every teacher wanted to be the one to, I was like a wild horse. They wanted to be the one to break the horse. So I was always getting hit. So you learn even your friends, the guys that you think are cool with you, and you're from America, the ones who are not trying to be asses.
You had some of those right away?
Oh, yeah, of course. There's always going to be people that you're from America, I want to go America, blah, blah.
Right.
Even those guys, whenever the teacher wanted to hit you and you were not trying to get hit, she would just point to them, hold him down, and they would hold you down because they didn't want to get hit. So even the ones that were your friends would hold you down to get hit. So, I mean, it was rough, but you learn quick. You learn fast, because if you get hit, you're getting hit and you can't do nothing. You don't have no gang. You have no one to protect you. So eventually you don't want to get hit anymore. Then you gotta, you gotta conform, and you have to try to get the work done, put the right answers on the board.
Did you actually start with the respect factor, though, and respecting elders, like you were saying?
Yeah.
Did you actually start to feel that, or was it more an impetus like, I don't want to get hit, so that's how I'm going to do it, and then when you go home, it's back to where you were?
No, because it was all around you. It was all, like, for example, if, let's say I was a junior and you was a senior in school, you could say, hey, boy, come clean my room, come clean my classroom. And they would tell me that. You gotta remember, I'm a gang man. You told me to come clean your classroom. You crazy, bro? And I would get beat because what would happen? I'm like, I'm not cleaning your classroom. That's crazy. But then the senior would call his other senior friends. And they would hold me and they would beat the shit out of you. And it's not like, who you gonna complain to? They're gonna say your senior asked you to do something, so you have to do it. So eventually you just get, what happens is you just get used to it, planning your plot for when you're going to be the senior. And you're going to tell it. And that's how, like, even in colleges, like with the hazing stuff.
Yeah.
Right? You go in getting hazed, knowing that,
you're going to do it.
You're going to do it. Right? So, and then eventually it just wears on you. Like you start to respect, okay, I think it's more of a brain conditioning.
Yes.
Right? It's brain conditioning. You just do it so much. You're just used to it so much that now, oh, someone's older than you, your brain just clicks. Oh, respect that person. Respect that person.
Yeah,
right?
this is your particular story is a really fascinating one for the whole environment shift, because I just love this topic when I'm talking with people and how different parts of their upbringing could have shaped like who they became. But yours, like, you were kind of forced to go over somewhere like a faraway land, basically. I mean, that's what it was. And you came from such a hard environment. You went to another hard environment, but it was a totally different type.
Yeah.
So it changed how you looked at society while still maybe having some of the annoying's not the right word to put on it, but some of the things that people maybe shouldn't have in their environment, like getting the shit kicked out of them and stuff like that. And then some people could argue like, hey, taking that once in a while as a kid in, whether it be with your friends straightening you out or things like that, it could be good for you, but not what you're talking about. Nah. You're talking about witnessing your mom getting beat up, getting beat up by your stepbrother, getting hit by a stick by the principal of a school like that. This is a whole different level. Like that's not cool. But you did have to, in the second environment, you at least had to get some sort of like social order out of it. And that is fascinating. Right.
And then I come back, I come back to America now, and I'm like this super kid.
Now, there's a question though.
Yeah.
Were you right back into the gangs, or were you over that at that point?
Right back into the
gangs. And so now the social order's in the gang.
Now the social order in the gang, and everyone's making fun of me. I remember when I first came back, everyone had a ball on me, bro, because I was speaking like this. I remember we were playing basketball.
Oh, no.
The funniest thing was basketball. We were playing basketball, and I was like, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. And, oh my God, and people, they never let me live it down, bro. They just kept saying, we would just be chilling. They'd be like, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. I'm like, bro, we're not even playing. But yeah, I had this crazy accent. I had a crazy accent.
So you picked up that wasn't just like an accidental phrase. That was like you actually picked it up.
Yeah, my accent was crazy, bro. I was sounding crazy.
Holy shit.
I was sounding real crazy. Because you remember, I'm there for 2 years.
Yeah, it's you're right.
I was supposed to visit the year before, and I said I'm not coming back. And they say, yeah, there goes your ticket. So I never got to visit. So I spent 2 years there, and yeah, I came back crazy.
Wow. But before you went, because you said you were in court for some crazy shit, and then this was either like go to prison or that. Like what? We had talked about your first experience with being handed a gun when you were a kid, but like when did you actually, like what was the initiation into like, oh, you're a part of this life? And like what, not to be like totally uneducated about it, but what kind of gang? Like was it just the local project gang? Like what was the backdrop when you were maybe 11, 12 or something like that?
Yeah, so in my projects we have more than one gang, right? So eventually you had to join one, because if you didn't join, like, you get a lot of people, they say, oh, you had a choice. You have a choice. You don't have to do that. But that's so far from the fact, bro. If you don't join something, then you're gonna get beaten by everyone. Everyone's gonna, and people are gonna tell you, yo, you need to be with us. You know, if you don't run with us, you know. So you gotta join someone to get protected from the others, right?
And that's how they get you.
And that's how they get you, because you know, like I said, your parents are not with you all the time, right? You got to walk to school, you got to go to school, you got to come back to school, you got to be in school, and if you're not part of nothing, then that can be a problem. You know, usually the kids who get punked on, not usually, it's almost all the time, are not part of anything, right? Usually the kids that are getting, you know, taken advantage of or getting robbed, they're usually not part of anything. Because even it's a gang, you know, who you rather do something to? The other kid that's part of another gang, or the kid that's part of nothing? The kid that's part of nothing.
That's part of nothing.
Exactly. See, it's easy. So yeah, man, it's just crazy, you know. But then I come back, right, and I'm this powerful, strong kid, you know, this is the man of war.
Were you selling? What was the?
No, I never.
Was the setup?
I never. You mean in the gang?
Drugs. Yeah.
I never got into drugs.
No.
Never. No, never.
So what are you doing
Never.
with them?
Never. Yo, whenever they need me, I'm there fighting.
Just fighting.
I was always fighting. I was just stay fighting all the time.
Interesting.
If you know, if we had beef, something like that, it's always there. And I was also the one who had somewhat a brain on his head. Like you know, I remember I almost got like killed one time.
Ooh,
but
what happened?
But we had some beef with another. Actually, it wasn't even my beef. It was my boy's beef. But I was always smart, and I would always try to, if we didn't have to go there, let's not go there. So I was the one, and that's bad. A lot of times that's bad. You never want to be the guy to be like, yo, let's just chill. You never want to be the middle guy. The middle guy always gets the most problem. Really, the middle guy.
Yes.
Right? And I remember one time we were in Coney Island on the boardwalk, and my boy had beef with someone, and it was him and me and like 7 other people from a different gang, and I was trying to be like the chill person, and someone just ran up behind me and just fucking clocked me like in the back of my head.
Ooh.
If you ever get hit in the back of your head, it's instant. You go down.
Yeah.
And luckily, but I don't know. I have a very good. I don't know what they call it. Like even I'm down, I know what the fuck is going on. Like, and that's from growing up in that life. I always know what's going on. I always know what's around me. I could be out, and I still feel I'll know what the hell's going on. So when I got hit, I immediately lost. I couldn't see. Like I fell down, and I really couldn't see well. But I knew the kid had a knife. And
how'd you know that?
I saw it. He had it out.
Oh, okay.
And I immediately was able to get up and run. I could have got killed. I could have got ran across the street, got hit by a car. But I just ran. I didn't even know where I was running. And I was able to get away, luckily.
What about your friend?
He got away. he got beat up pretty badly. But yeah, they didn't kill him. But yeah. But it was, you know, so those kind of crazy things, you know, I've been through a lot of stuff like that, you know, where people put guns to me and stuff like that.
When like, is that just from some of the regular beefs where people just whip out a gun?
It's dumb shit. Like, for example, another dumb, you know, circumstance, people might be like, damn, that's so stupid. I mean, now I'm older. I look at it, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That was the dumbest thing ever.
Right.
Me and the same kid. This particular kid was my ride or die. Like that was my boy. We did every single thing together. Everything. Even girls. Even like he would have a girl, he would call me, yo, Wally, yo, I got this chick over. A word? Oh, bro, I'll be right there in a sec, bro. Seriously, like everything. This was like, yo, we did everything together, every single thing. And another time we were hanging out and we were going through different projects, and there was like 5 kids walking past us, and they just walked past and they, you know, they looked at us, and we just looked back at them, and then they kept walking, and like about 200 feet, they stopped. They just stopped, and I told my boy, yo, I think something's gonna go down. So they stopped. Then they started coming back towards us. And I told my boy, yo, get ready. We're going to have to fight 5 kids now. Like, because, you know, we're not going to run.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to fight 5 kids. So the kids start coming to us. And then the smallest of the kids goes, oh, you know, what are you guys grilling us for? And we're like, how would you know we're grilling you if you're not grilling us? Like, see how dumb this is? See how stupid this is?
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Well, because you're looking at us. It already started stupid, right? But back then, that was like a thing. Like, you can't be staring at people's face, right? So, you know, I'm like, yo, you know, you looking at us, so we looking at you back, you know, what you want to do? And the kid pulls out a fucking gun, puts it to my face. And he goes, what you want to do? And so then, you know, there's many ways you can go around this situation. Like I said, I was always smart. I was always really, really smart. And
what's going through your head when that happens? Because you're young.
Well, you can't back down.
Right.
So the people who back down get shot. People think so. Here's like a little misconception. People think that if you say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, please don't kill me, please don't kill me," they're not gonna shoot you. If they're gonna shoot you, you're getting shot. It doesn't matter if you say, "Please don't kill me," please beg. It doesn't matter. So, how do you diffuse this situation? You still gotta stay hard. You still gotta, without, what's the word I want to use? Without forcing him to want to shoot you, but you still have to stand your ground, right? You cannot be like,
you don't want to escalate it.
Right, right. But you still need to stand your ground. You don't want to be like, oh, my bad. Right. Now, that's it. You just lost every respect you've ever had in your life. Every respect they might, because, you know, they can still have respect for you, right? They can still have respect for you. They just don't like you, right? But now you've lost every little tiny, even if the tiny respect is gone. Now you're a puss. That's it. You're begging. So what I did, I was like, yo, what you going to do with that? So why are you pulling that out, right? Now, of course, I'm scared. I'm worried. Not scared, worried, right? Because if he shoots me, I'm fucking dead, right? But at the same time, I'm not gonna back down because he has a gun. Because I have to show that, you know, yeah, you know, I'm about it. So I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? Why are you pulling out a gun for? Why you don't shoot the fair one? You know, let's fight. You want to fight, me and you, one-on-one. Put the gun down, right? So now I'm showing you that. Because you got a gun, I'm not really scared of you, right? And it don't look like you're gonna shoot, because if you were gonna shoot, you probably would have did it already, right? So this is just being able to. It's like chess. It's like chess, right? I'm seeing the situation. Is this kid really gonna shoot, or is he just pulling it out, right? So for me, I already determined immediately he wasn't gonna shoot. So then I'm like, all right, so why don't we just shoot the fair one? Why you gonna pull out that gun? And then another kid goes, oh, I know him. So one of his friends knew me, because actually this kid's brother, who is in jail, is my friend. Yeah. So what happened is even crazier. So the kid was like, oh, I'm not going to say what my name was back then, but I had a certain name, a gang name. And the kid said, oh, what's his name? Yeah, he knows your brother. And then all of a sudden the kid was like, all right, yo, it's cool. But it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool with me. It was not cool at all, right? Because you put a gun in my face.
Yeah.
So I let it go at that situation. But then the next week, we were at school, me and the same kid. Man, this kid is always around me, man. Me and the same kid, we were at school, and we saw the kid. The same kid pulled a gun. We saw him walking. And he was like, my boy's like, yo, that's the kid from last week. And I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, that's him. So we followed him. We followed him into a store. He goes into the store, and then I go into the store and say, yo, bro, come on, I want to talk to you. And all of a sudden now, he wasn't that hard kid anymore. Now he was worried, right? Because he didn't have nothing on him at the time. And I was like, yo, come on, store, I want to talk to you. He's like, no. I say, yo, listen, I ain't got nothing. I told him, I'm not packing. I got nothing. I just want to talk to you. Come out the store. Because, you know, we don't want nothing to go down the store. We want to talk to you. Just come out. Yeah. So eventually he came out the store, and I told him, I says, listen, I wasn't going to do nothing to him because I knew his brother. I knew his brother was in jail. But I wanted to make a point. And so and that's been my life, always trying to make a point. And so he came out and says, listen, I said, right now, if I wanted to end your life, I could do it right now, right here, right now, because you put a gun to my face. I said, never put a gun to someone's face if you're not going to use it. If you're not going to use it. Because right now, I could kill you right here. And that would be it, bro. I was like, listen, never pull out a gun if you're not going to use it. That's it. And I told him, I said, listen, I have respect for your brother, I know your brother, but yo, we could keep this beef on or we could squash it. What you want to do? And the kid was like, let's squash it. And so we just left it alone, you know? So
it's amazing what a little bit of, like just a little bit of level-headedness will do to situations that, as you pointed out already, are stupid beyond belief.
Right. And for some reason, I've always been somewhat level-headed, or I would say more level-headed than the rest of my friends.
Why do you think that is? Because frankly, you come from a kind of environment where you shouldn't be level-headed.
I'll tell you why. It's the sports. Because in sports, you had discipline. Right? And that's the only answer I could have for it. It's playing all those sports. You know, I had to listen to what the coach said. I had the discipline. I had to wake up early. You know, I had to go to the gym. I had to do the right things.
And even through all this stuff, going to Africa, being in the gangs, you were still playing sports this whole time.
Oh, yeah. I sports was my sports.
What'd you play?
Everything. Basketball, football, volleyball, tennis, wrestling. Any sport that I could play, because sports was a way to keep me out of being home. Right? If I played sports, I have to practice in the morning, practice in the evening, and that would keep me from being home. And that would numb the hell. You know, you're tired, bro. Like, when you're tired, you're less affected by the garbage people say. Like, when you're exhausted and someone's talking shit, you're like, bro, I'm not even trying to hear you right now. I'm tired. So I needed those sports, right?
And you were a great athlete too.
Oh, I was an amazing athlete, bro. Everything I played, I was good at everything. And I think I was good at it because I had to be good at it, because I needed to be on this team. So I needed to put in all the work I could to be the best that I could, so that I could play more sports.
Do you think some of that was also, like, that makes total sense, but some of that might also have been trying to get some validation over your stepfather who told you were going to suck at everything?
No, I don't think.
It just didn't. That was a separate.
I never even thought about. I never even thought. I did it for my own peace, to keep me balanced. Because I don't know. Like I said, as a young kid, I was always smart. I needed that balance. Because the gang stuff was just crazy. And then I needed something that would just numb me. And I guess in some way give me some discipline without even knowing that I needed discipline.
That's interesting.
Right?
Like, I wonder if there was like a, you know, minus the experience of when you went to Africa and you were forced to do it, I wonder if there was like a little bit of a small subconscious urge for that.
Right, maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't actively think it, but like you kind of wanted it a little bit.
Right. No. I think that was it. And to bring us back to what you asked before, you know, now I come back from Africa and I'm this like strong kid, you know, I'm
with an accent.
With an accent, yeah. Throw me the butt. I tell you, that's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life, bro. And you know, all my life, I always wanted to protect my mom as a kid. It's the only thing I ever wanted to do. Like, I want to protect my mom. I can't do. I'm too small. I want to protect my mom. And now I'm strong and I can protect my mom. And I'm telling you, on the flight back, everything that I thought about was like, I'm going to beat the shit out of this dude, bro. Like, because I didn't know if stuff was still going on, right? But I'm sure it was still going on.
It always had,
right?
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking about this all the way. Now, remember this, what I'm saying. I was thinking about this the whole time. I can protect my mom. I'm going to beat the shit out of this dude. He's never going to hit my mom again. This is all in my mind as I'm flying back. That's all I'm thinking about.
2 years later, too.
Yeah.
You've been over there nonstop,
right.
You said, right?
Yes,
you never came back.
Came back.
Yep.
And this is all I'm thinking about. And I get back home, you know, nothing really pops off that hard, caused the argument. And then one day, bro, I'm at home and my mom and him gets into it and I'm sitting down and they start arguing, starts getting louder, and he grabs her by the throat. And all I did was turn around. I just turned around, and as I turn around, I see him grabbing her. I didn't say anything. I just looked. And my stepfather said, "What are you looking at? If you look over here, you're going to get the same thing." And boom, the bomb just went off. Like, all those years of the abuse just went off. And I just flipped out. I don't even remember leaving the house. I know I left the house because I came back with a gun, but I don't remember actually leaving the house. I ran out the house, got a gun, came back with the gun.
You didn't go beat him up first?
No, I ran out the house immediately.
Right.
I just freaking ran out because I was like, I'm going to kill this guy today. Ran out the house, came back with the gun, put it to his face, and he was trying to, like, go through the wall. You know, he's like, like this, and I was like, I'm gonna kill you today. He said, you've been beating up my mom, and I was crying, and you know, because I never killed anyone, right? But it was gonna happen, and as this is going on, my mom is like freaking out, and my mom calls the police, and my mom says, you guys have to hurry. My son's trying to kill my husband. Not that my husband's beating the hell out of me or choking me. No, my son's trying to kill my husband. And then I just kind of like, I just lost it. Like my soul was like taking out. Like I was, and I just started crying. And I felt like, I don't even know how to explain it, man. I felt like as if all the inside of me was just fell out. Like I just shitted it out. Like all of the inside out and just empty. And I just freaking took the gun. I put it in my mom's face. Yeah, I was gonna
turn it on your mom.
That day I was gonna kill my mom and my stepfather, and I put it to her face and I said, you know what? I said, the two of you deserve to die together. You deserve each other, and it's the ultimate betrayal. And I started shaking. Now, mind you, this is happening very fast, right? My mom called the police. Police are coming.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there when police are coming, but I wasn't even thinking about that. Now my mind is just
Where'd you
all
get
over
the gun,
place.
by the way?
Oh, next door neighbor. It's part of my gang.
Yeah.
So we used to keep guns at each other's houses, right? So I wasn't there, so I didn't have guns in my house. But my person lived next door to me. He's part of my gang, and I just ran. I was like, I need a gun. Give me the gun. And he knew. He knows what's going on in my house. He knows. And so at this point, all this stuff is happening so fast, and you know, I talk about. Maybe it was divine intervention or an angel or God or whatever it is that you believe in, came, kind of sat on my, I talk about sitting on my shoulder, right? And says, hey, if you do this right now, everything that your stepfather said about you is going to happen today, right? My stepfather said I'd be a failure, I'd be dead in jail all my life. Everything's going to happen today. And I heard this, right, in the midst of all this craziness. And then I just came to my senses and I say, you know what, you guys deserve each other. And never went back home, never talked to her again, and just left.
You left?
Oh, left.
You never talked to your mom again?
Nope, left. And I tried to talk to her years later. And this brings us back to what we were talking about before with the family. So I tried to talk to her years later, but as I mentioned before, she never gave the closure. Like she never apologized. You know what happened? Let me tell you. You know what happened? Just think about what happened. The judge allowed me to go to Africa to change my fucking life. Now I come back and I got a gun to my mom's head. And imagine what would have happened if police would have came and saw me there and arrested me.
So they came, but they just said,
I was gone. I was gone.
They're not tracking that case.
No, but I actually got arrested for it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but it's no weapon. I'm like, you're crazy. I'm like, there was no weapon. That's my mom. I was like, my mom gets beat up all the time. He's just making her say that. And they couldn't prove it. They could with no weapon they could do nothing. Right. So they let me go. But imagine if I didn't leave in time. Imagine if they would have came. And I would have been arrested.
Yeah,
I would have been at least 15 for sure. Like, and so, you know, all my life, you know, I just wanted my mom to be like, I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but never got it. So many years later, I tried to talk to her. I couldn't, because whenever I spoke to her, I just felt, like even now talking about it, there's like this pressure of blood that comes and it makes me feel very violent. So I just stopped. I couldn't talk to her anymore. I was like, I can't talk to you. So
So you never said another word to her for the rest of her life?
I cut her off. And then
wait, you were what, 16, 17 when this happened?
Yeah, 16.
Where'd you go?
I lived in the street for a year. Hanging out, you know, with friends, living from friends' house to
Couch
friends'
surfing.
house, gangs,
Yeah.
you know, hanging out with my gang members. And, you know, back then at 16, you can go for days without sleep,
Yeah.
you know, hanging out. And but yeah, and I just can talk to her. Years later, I tried to talk to her, but I couldn't because she would not acknowledge. And they were still together. That's the crazy thing. They were still together. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is madness. They were still together. And then
did you feel like your mom didn't love you?
I don't know. I think no, I knew my mom loved me for sure, but I think she just loved him more. And that was not cool. And yeah. And then years later, like I said, I tried to talk, it couldn't work. And then like about maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, so I don't talk to the reason I don't talk to my other side of family, like my mother's side of family, my mother has 5 brothers. I don't talk to them either. I don't talk to any of them.
What was the relationship growing up? Like, how much did they know about what was going on? They all knew, right?
They all knew, man.
Yeah.
Listen, here's my problem with it, and this is why I don't talk to them. Maybe if they're watching this now they're gonna know, but I don't care because I don't talk to them anyway. But there's no way that you have 5 brothers and this guy is not beaten to a pulp. It's I don't understand it. My mom has 5 brothers. 5. I don't understand how this guy was never beaten down. Even if your sister says, if you beat him, I'm going to call the police. I don't understand, bro. Like, I don't understand. If I have a sister and some dude is beating up my sister, it's not that hard to get him. He's got to come out the house sometime. I rather go to jail. All right, if I beat the shit out of him, I'm probably 99.9%. I'm not going to get any time for that. I might go to the bullpens. I'll maybe stay in jail a couple of times. Probably I've never done. My brothers they were in the army, bro. Like they fought in the wars, right? What's the worst that can happen to you? Okay, you go sleep a night in jail. So what? Judge is not going to give you bail, right? You're an outstanding citizen, right? So you beat the shit out of this guy. You take the night in jail. So what? You explain to them what's happening. They're going to understand, and they're going to let you go, right? So even now I talk about it, I get angry because there's no way 5 brothers couldn't do nothing for all the years. And they know, listen, I remember one time they came to the house. And my mom didn't open the door. So then you know what you do? You come the next day, you stay there all day, you wait for him to come out. As soon as he come out, you grab him, you beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. He never got his ass beat. And that's why he kept doing it. He never, ever. He got away with it over.
So bizarre, man.
It's crazy, bro. And that's the reason why I don't talk to them. I just cut. I was like, what?
And they all live close.
Bro, listen. At the time, they all lived in New York, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, and even if you don't live close, it doesn't matter, man.
Agreed.
If I have a sister, my sister's getting beat up by some dude, man, I am coming down to your house. I will stay out there till you come out. You gotta come out sometime. Even if you have to sleep in the car, wait for you to come out to properly beat the fire out of you. Then maybe something's going to click in your brain that the next time you want to hit my mom, you'll get flashbacks. Or you hit my sister, you'll get flashbacks. And maybe you're not going to do that.
You had said this at the very beginning of our conversation. I just want to make sure I followed. Your real dad and your mom divorced when you were 1.
Yeah, probably.
And was he never in your life again?
So my... That's funny. So my dad, I tell you, my life's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
So my dad was only in my life when my stepfather wanted to throw me out of the house. So what they would do is, my stepfather was like, I don't want him here, get him out. So they would send me to my dad, and my dad would take care of me.
What was your relationship like with him?
I love my dad, bro. Like my dad used to beat the shit out of me, but I deserved it. That was more of a disciplinary shit. Cause I was telling you, I was a fucking bad kid. My dad was not. My dad fucked me up, bro. My dad used to beat the shit out of me. But my dad always gave me everything. Now,
but your dad didn't do anything about your mom getting the shit kicked
he's
out of her.
divorced. I wouldn't do nothing either. I mean, divorce.
Yeah, but
bro.
if my kid were in the middle of it, like you said, it's one thing where you're getting the shit kicked out of you for discipline versus some guy just beating the fuck out of me.
Yeah, no, my dad didn't. He didn't really know, actually, because I never told him
That he was beating you.
No, I never told my dad.
that the stepfather was doing anything.
No, I never told
And he didn't suspect?
No, like my dad would fucking go over there and it'd be bad. So I know my dad. Like my dad's fucking gangster and yeah. So
you never told him?
I never told my dad. No. I never mentioned it. I would be happy just to be with him.
But never. That's so fascinating to me that even as like a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid.
I never told my dad.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think I was more scared that my dad would fucking my dad was very hardcore, bro. He's very, very hardcore, and I don't know. I never told my. And plus, I think it was also me, also being, I'm a strong guy, you know.
Right.
I'm not wanting to tell what's going on in the house, right? Not just being stronger than I really am. And I think that's probably why I never really told my dad like what's going on. And plus the times when I got sent to my dad was already a little bit older. You know, it wasn't like when I was 6 or 5. I was older, you know, so it was just me.
Sporadic more than anything.
Yeah. But like I said, my dad always he always took me in, but there was another problem though. There's another fucking problem. Always problems. So I had siblings who are older than me. Right now, this is gonna sound crazy.
On your dad's side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I have siblings who are older than me.
Wait, are they your mom's kids too?
Nope.
They're another woman. Okay, got it.
Check this out. They're another woman's kids. Another woman that he's married to.
Okay.
That he's married to
now, like at that point,
at
like
that
when
point,
you were a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm the only kid from my mom and my dad. How do I have older siblings? That's impossible.
You have another.
That means that my dad was probably married to this person when he married my mom, or together with this person.
Oh shit! It's her kids.
Yeah, it's not my mom's kids, but
it's not another woman. It's the one he's living with now and married to.
Exactly.
Oh fuck!
Isn't that crazy? So
oh my god!
So guess
that complicates things.
That complicates things a lot.
Yeah.
So guess what will happen when I was going to my dad's side?
You get the shit kicked out of you by the
well,
siblings.
I didn't get kicked. No. The mom, the mom of the siblings, his wife, would always be rude to me, and would always look down on me because I was a kid that he had from another woman.
Oh
like, it was fucking crazy. It was always just crazy, bro. Life was just always like it was. And that's what I said. It was always me trying to prove myself, and that's why now I get very. And it's something that even bothers me till today. If people say I can't do shit, or I fucking gotta prove you. If people try to blame me for something I didn't do, I get really highly agitated immediately. Like it's just immediate.
It's a trigger.
It's a trigger, yeah, because all my life it's been always like that. So now I'm at my father's house with my dad who loves me, and now I got this freaking lady, like, you know, trying to like put me down and not be nice and you know, and I'm already having drama in the house I'm coming from anyway. Yeah, so it is crazy, and like I said, so you know, going through all that stuff, and I just stopped talking to my mom, and what made it crazy is
why do you think she loved him that much, or
yo,
do you
bro,
think it was
I have
like
no
a
idea.
hostage type thing?
I have no idea. Well, I mean, during the pandemic, I started to learn about narcissism. Like I didn't even know what a narcissist was until the pandemic came.
All these years later.
I started to learn and understand what narcissists do. Now I understand why my grandmother or my uncles have never been in my house. Never. They've never been in my house. Ever. And I started to just understand, like going into Clubhouse, going into these narcissism rooms, and oh wow, that's what he was doing. Oh, he was keeping the family apart. He was you know,
yes.
like divide and conquer kind of thing.
Yes.
And I didn't know about that. And I started learning about it, and I was like, oh shit, all right, yes, it's a form of brainwashing. You know, just keep making her think that she's the problem and stuff like that. But the thing was, like, my mom was hard. Like, you know, it was just weird, man. But yeah, anyway, you know, I stopped talking to her, and
So you started couch surfing with friends when you're 16, 17.
Yeah.
But all the while, You're still going to school.
Yep.
You're still making people do your notes and shit.
Yep.
And you're playing sports, and you're good at
sports, and yeah.
So how do you end up in ping pong? Like you had said that you would see the kids playing. I think you said this very early on in the podcast, or maybe right before the podcast. So you'd see the kids playing in school, and then one day there's like, oh, there's this club you go to.
Yeah. And
you just went like after making fun of these kids for a long time.
No. So the kids who said there's a club were the kids that I tried to smash in the face with the ball at the pool hall. And they told me about this club, and I was like, there's no way there's a place where people gather to play this. It's impossible. And but the athlete in me was like, maybe there is a place where people play this. And so I went down to go check it out, and it was a pool hall, actually. It was half pool hall, half ping pong. And when I got in, I saw people playing, like standing back from the table, making noise and stuff. And I was like, yo, this is crazy, right? But the thing that attracted me to it was that the people that were playing were black. And I was like, wait a minute, black people play this? I was like, there's no way black people play this. Oh shit, black people play this. Like, I thought only Asians played ping pong.
That's what I always kind of thought.
Yeah, me too. I know black people play this. And they were playing. They were making noise. And I was like, oh shit, damn, these dudes are good. And that's what attracted me to the sport. That's what then I said, oh wow, well, you know, if they do this, I can do this too. Right? Because I saw them playing. And that's what made me actually want to play. And so I got interested. I would go to the club and try to play some games, try to play with people. And nobody would play with me, really. They'd be like, I'm tired, or my mom's coming, or whatever. And nobody paid me any mind. And I would get so angry. And I was the kind of person that wherever they don't want me, that's where I want to be, right? I'm like, dude, do these guys even know who I am? Like, I'll shoot up this whole place. And that was bothering me a lot, because here you are kind of, for me, that was kind of being disrespectful. Right? If you don't want to play, just say you don't want to play. But don't tell me you got to do something. And then 2 minutes later, you play with someone else. So that made me even more pissed off. And I was like, no, I'm going to play this sport. Right? And so...
Because now you want to exert some control where you're not getting it at home.
Exactly. And now I used to play with this older guy who was like 70 years old. And the guy would just crush me. He would beat me so badly. And I would get so angry. I would break every racket that I had, because how can this 70-year-old beat me? I'm an athlete, bro. Like, I play sports, like real sports. Like, what else going on? And I got more interested because, you know, I was getting beat by a 70-year-old guy. And I was like, no, I got to beat this guy. So I kept wanting to play more. And then eventually I met a guy who came in one time, and he says, do you have a partner? And by this time I could hit, you know, I learned sports really fast. So I could hit back and forth. I was okay, you know, and the guy says, do you have a partner? I was like, no. And he goes, well, I'll pay you $20 if you can play with me like once or twice a week. Well, what? $20? Okay.
Say less.
You know, for sure. So I played with this guy, and we became friends. You know, we became friends, and I spoke, you know, he was like someone I could talk to, you know, about shit that I was going through, and I would talk to him like, yeah, this was fucking going on, you know, and the way I would talk would be really funny, you know, because I would talk so nonchalant about serious shit. So I'd be like, yeah, man, the other day we were fucking at a club, boy, and my boy put this fucking gun out and tried to shoot at this kid. So I'm like, yo, it's so fucking stupid, bro. And I would talk like it was nothing, and he would look at me like, what the fuck? He would look at me, and I don't think he understood. I don't think he understood. I think he was hearing, but he wasn't understanding, right? I think for him it was more like a TV thing, you know. And I say this over and over. If you don't know anyone who's lived that life or been in that life, it's really hard to understand how kids walk around with guns, but they do all the time. Like you see it, you hear it. It's in the news. It's not like it's hidden. So for him, it was like, I don't know. He didn't understand. Then one day I went to the club, and a .22 fell out of my bag, and he saw it. He looked at me, I looked at him. And the look on his face was funny, because it was like all the pieces of a puzzle had just came together. And it was like, oh, that's the look on his face. And I wasn't trying to stay around to see where that look was going. So I was like, yeah, I got to go. I picked it up and left. I'm just going to call police. And so I left, and then I thought, damn, there goes my $20. The $20 hustle is gone. This guy's not going to give me any more money, bro. I was like, fuck. And I needed money at that time. And he called me back and says, hey, are we still playing? And I thought, okay, that's weird.
Yes.
All right, yeah, for sure, $20. And I went to go meet him. We played, and he says, I want to invite you to my house. And I thought that was weird. Like, who invites the kid that just, had a gun full out of his bag to their house? I want you to meet my family. Okay, that's even weirder, right? And I'm like, all right, I don't know where this is going, but $20, let's go. So I go to this dude's house. It's like 2.5 hours away from New York, and
so he would come 2.5 hours to the city to play.
well, he had an apartment in the city as well, but his family lived near Hunter. Hunter Mountain is like 2.5 hours away. He had like a house like in the woods. That's where his family lived. His family didn't live like they had a really kind of weird kind of living. Like I don't know if you call it. I don't know what to call it. Like they didn't watch TV. They didn't eat sweets. It was just really weird. It was really weird. Yeah, but his family lived there, and he brought me there. Saw his family. They had like real family stuff, like sitting at a dinner table with everyone eating, talking, passing the food around, and I guess he wanted to show me what family was supposed to be like. And I played ping pong with his family. He had a ping pong table there, a pool table that turned into a ping pong table. And I was taking it in. I was like, all right. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit because I was like, what the fuck this guy got me around this family for? Like, because it's something I didn't have like that, right? So it's actually pissing me off more than anything else.
He obviously had clearly picked up on that.
Yeah.
And he wanted this for you.
To see.
It's pretty cool.
And so then he says to me, he goes, I really want to help you. And by this time, I really liked playing ping pong. Like, I liked it. And he says, I'm going to pay for you to go to Germany to learn ping pong. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to pay for you to go to Germany. Now,
were you any good at this point? Like, did you have like some of the core skills?
Basic.
Very
Forehand,
basic.
backhand, very, 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 very basic. Right. And he was like, I know this school, sports school, where kids go to learn, or where the best athletes of particular sports, they go live at this school and they learn the sport. And I was like, oh, okay. And the only thing about Germany that I knew was Hitler. And I'm like, why is this guy sending me to Germany? It's crazy. Fucking, I didn't know anything about Germany. I just knew Hitler. I was like, Hitler's from Germany. Why is this guy sending me to Germany?
Yeah.
But I did know. What I did know was that that would be a way out. And a lot of people always go.
How old are you at this point, buddy?
This time I was 17.
Okay, you're still like 17.
Yeah.
No shit.
A lot of people go, oh, you were lucky. I hate this word, lucky. Oh, you're so lucky. Someone said, no, I'm not lucky. I'm not lucky. I made a conscious decision to say yes. 99.9% of the people, in my case, from where I grew up, would say, what are you, fucking crazy?
Right.
I'm not going to Germany. You're out of your mind. I don't know any person who would agree to that. But like I said, as a kid, I always had some part, I don't know, I always had a head on my shoulders, like a little, right? And I knew that this could be an opportunity to maybe change my life and to not be doing what I was doing, because I was doing nothing. I was going nowhere. And I probably would have wound up dead or in jail.
Do you think if you hadn't gone to Africa, you still would have said yes to Germany?
Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, man. If I hadn't gone, I probably would have said no.
Yeah. I think that did a lot for you.
Yeah,
I think that was a key.
Yeah, I think I would have said no. But one thing that's very interesting too, was that, which also allowed me to say yes, was that he never brought up the gun that fell. He never mentioned it. Like, that conversation never came up. And I don't know if he was aware of what he was doing, or that's just the way it just happened. Because if he would have said anything about it, I would have never talked to him again. That would have been, $20 or not. If he would have said, you shouldn't be walking around with guns and this stuff, I would have completely just...
Even if he just said an opinion?
I'd have been gone. I'd never talk to him again.
Why?
I never liked people telling me what to do and what not to do. So if he would have said, you shouldn't be doing this, I would have cut him off completely. Even now, like I do a lot of talks with kids, and I don't tell them, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
I tell them, look at the decisions you make and think about how they will affect you in your future. That's how I talk to kids. I don't say, you shouldn't be in a gang.
Yes.
You shouldn't be carrying a gun. No one wants to be told what to do.
Yes.
So I don't know if he knew that. I mean, he had to know that, right? Because how are you not going to talk about the gun that fell on my bag? So, but that was the biggest key for me to say yes, because he just never mentioned it. It's almost like it never happened.
How long had you known him before that happened?
About a year. Very short.
You know, that's probably why, because he had spent enough time with you. You had said like you talk real nonchalantly about stuff, but he would always see you showed up. You were there. Like you had something about you that made like he could see commitment to something. He could see a desire to have fun and live life. You weren't some dude coming in there going, yo, you know what I just did? You know what I mean? So then he sees something like that, and he probably thought to himself, well, yeah, he probably thinks he has to have one. Like, well, I guess we're seeing it right now. Okay, whatever. But, you know, there's something that clicks and goes, all right, he's not meant to go that way, what that could get him down to. So let me bring this kid in the sanctum a little more, the inner sanctum, and we can help him out. That's I'm just totally guessing here, but that's probably where he's at.
Yeah, I think you're right, because even till today I'm like trying to figure out like how do you not say, bro, what are you doing?
What the fuck?
It just never. It's almost like it never ever happened, and because he never mentioned it, I felt like it never happened, and you know, I say yeah, you know, and it's definitely very very interesting how, you know, someone could actually change your life, you know.
Yeah. Did he ask you about your home life too?
Yeah, like I spoke about my home life all the time.
All of it.
Yeah. He knew all
and
the
you weren't
stuff.
there anymore at this point,
Yeah,
obviously.
He knew a lot of what was going on. You know, I was always, like I said, I always spoke, but I think it's because of the way I spoke. Like I think most people who are not in that life who would talk about a situation would talk about it with emotion. But I never talked about it with emotion. I just talked about it nonchalantly. I was like,
right.
Yeah, my mom was getting beat up all the time. Like it was nothing. So I guess when you talk like that, people don't think it's that serious. Because I wasn't like, yeah, you know, my mom used to always get beat up, man. You know, it's very different when the emotion, right? Because like when you give emotion with the way you talk, then people tend to listen more. But I've mastered as a kid, I've mastered being able to just say shit, and it could be the serious thing in the world, but not be emotional about it. And it was always a lot of me hiding my emotions. Now I'm very different. Now I can be emotional. But when I was younger, I never wanted to show emotion. I never wanted to show, if I was sad, you would never know I was sad. You would never know. You would know if I was angry, but you would never know. If I was hurting or sad, I would smile in your face, hang out with you, party with you. You would never in a million years know that, holy shit, this kid's going through some shit.
Because you didn't want to show weakness?
Exactly. I didn't want to be weak. So I had to put up this fake persona that I was always strong. No one who I grew up with would tell you, oh, that I was ever weak. You would never see it. Even when I was scared out of my mind, I would always show up strong, right? I could be scared to death and you wouldn't even know, because I was so good at just putting up that front, you know, and being strong and just, you know, doing that. So yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
But this guy was able to see through some of the facade. And he says, all right, I'm going to send you to Germany to this school. And you called it a school. So is it also, it's an actual, it's not just like a sports academy.
Well, it's a sports academy.
But
So
you go to class and stuff too.
You go to class, but it's not like a normal school. It's most of the curriculum is your sport. And then there are some classes.
Right. So you're what, like coming up on being like a senior in high school or something at this point?
I'm 17, so I'm already finished
he's
high
like,
school.
I'm going to send you for your last whatever.
Well, it doesn't count as a schooling for here. So I already finished high school already.
Oh, you I didn't. I thought you may have just said that, but I thought
No.
maybe I misheard it.
Yeah.
So you graduated early.
I finished high school already, right? And I got nothing to do, right? And so
So he sent you over there.
Yeah.
And you say yes. And how soon, like when you have that conversation, how soon are you in Germany?
Oh man, that's pretty quick after. I think it's maybe 6 months, maybe even less.
Right.
It might even be less. I don't remember exactly, but it's quick. It's shortly after.
And did you have to learn German, or was this an international type place?
It's international place. So like there were some. I remember there was. I remember I used to argue with this girl. There was a girl from Wales.
Oh,
the first person I ever met from Wales, and she used to speak.
Was she speaking it?
Oh God, bro!
Oh, man.
And I'd be like, "What?" Because like you said, I'm like, What kind of English is that? That's what I asked her. What kind of English is that?
Yeah, no.
And she was like, that is the proper English. I'm like, no, that is not proper. We don't speak like that. That's not the proper English. And we always used to argue back and forth because I didn't know that there was different kinds of English. I thought my English was normal. And she was like, no, this is the Queen's and all kinds of craziness. Like, listen, nobody understands
That is
you.
not Brooklyn.
No,
that's
you're
not
not
what we're
Brooklyn.
doing.
No, nobody understands you. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so there was some international. Everyone spoke English, right? But it was definitely a really crazy experience. It was because just because I was in Germany didn't mean I wasn't that violent kid still. Right?
You took that over there.
Of course. I mean, it doesn't just leave you. Just because you go to Germany, I was still that violent kid, and I still hated everyone, and it was just weird because like people were like, "Oh my God, you're from America, you're from New York. Whoa, we love New York, we love America." Whoa, back up! Like, what are you doing? Like, so people were just constantly in my face, and I didn't know how to react, right? I didn't know what to do. I didn't even, because this never happened before, right? Usually, people like me because of what I can do for them, right? The love of the gang, that's not real love, right? It's not unconditional love, right? If you're going to fight and I say, oh man, I want to sit this one out. You think they got love for you? No. Of course not, bro. They got love for you because of what you can do for them, yes. Right? But here, I'm in a different country and people are just loving me for no reason, and that was weird. Like, what do you want? Why, So I wasn't nice, and I was. There's a saying, it's called killing you with kindness. Yes. I say this a lot. Killing you with kindness is a real thing. And that's what happened, right? Because they're being kind to me. If you want to, let's say you want to punch someone in the face and the person's saying, yo, I love you so much, you're amazing. How do you punch that person in the face? You really can't do it. Yeah. Right? It's hard to punch someone in the face for no reason that's telling you they love you. And so I was confused because I didn't know how to react to all this love that I was getting and people telling me, oh, you're amazing. We love New York. I love America. I didn't know how to react. And so I was getting confused. I was mentally fucked up in the head. It was just getting real confused. And it took me a while. And then once again, remember the thing I told you that came on my shoulder? Yeah. Before, came again. It says, hey, bro, you're in a different country. You're not being abused. You're not in a gang. People love you. They like you. They want to get to know you, not because of what you can do for them, but just because you're you. Why are you angry? And then I thought about it for a while, and I couldn't find an answer why I was angry. And then I just started to change. That was the first mindset change, right? Of like, okay, not everyone in this world is out to get you. Because back where I'm from, if people are like, hey, you're amazing. Nah, there's some shit. Either they're trying to set you up, or they want to get something from you, right? So this is the way I grew up. So, now I had to change my mindset to understand that, not everyone in this world is out to get you. There are people who can genuinely like you just and only because you're you. And once I could do that, then I started to make friends, right? And it was literally a switch. It was like a lights on, lights off, right? It didn't take no preparing. One day I was like this, and the next day I was like, okay, let me see what this is about.
It's interesting to me that your first reaction there, though, would be to kind of be harder and maybe not make friends in that way at first and try to act tough. And I say that not because I wouldn't understand with some of the things you came up with as a kid, but this is after, and it's not that long after, like you were in Africa, where you did have to at least realize, oh, there is kind of a social order out there. Like, okay, respect elders, and not everyone's like the people in Brooklyn who are trying to get me into gangs. I understand, like, you're still young, impressionable. You come back home, that life takes you back up. But then the guy who sends you here is also a really kind man who takes you in, and you're also, to your credit, extremely kind to him and have a good relationship and have, like, I feel like you did something at that age with him that maybe you couldn't have done 4 years before. So now he sends you over to Germany, and your first reaction is to kind of go back to your oldest ways.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you just kind of, like, you didn't, the way you just explained it, you're like, I was able to look at myself and ask, I think you said, like, I asked myself, why am I doing this? Like, getting to the core of it, which is amazing that you were able to do that. Yeah. But then, like, how long in? Are you 3-6 months in where you start to kind of let the shell off and be a nice guy? Like, how long did that take?
No. That's like less than a month, about a month, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick because it's hard. Everyone is all in your face every second. It's crazy. Like, everyone's just like, America, blah, blah,
yeah.
Like this.
And how many kids were in this school?
Oh, it's a lot. There's a lot of kids. There's a lot because it's not just ping pong. It's other
it's
sports.
all kinds of sports.
Yeah, it's a sports school. So these kids, they're the best in that town and whatever sport they are, and they all live there. Right?
Oh, they're all from this place.
Yeah.
Minus a few.
Minus the few international kids.
Right.
But all the other kids they're the best. So those are like the future pro athletes or Olympic athletes or whatever you want to call it.
Now, in all fairness, though, like, how did you get accepted in if you weren't, like, good at ping pong?
Connection.
Yet? Just the connection to him.
That guy had the connection to the school. He paid for it. All those schools, like international, if you have the money, they'll let you in.
Yeah.
Right. So he had the money for it, and he paid for it, and that's how I got in.
And so, how quickly did you get, like, fucking amazing?
I learned. I pick up fast. I learned fast, and plus, like I said, it was once again me trying to prove myself, right? Because Americans don't play ping pong, so it's always me trying to prove myself. So I always, wanted to get better quickly, and I just kept pushing, and just always putting 100% in. Like, I never slacked in training ever.
So when you leave there, I would imagine something had to rub off. Like, you're
I was pretty good. I was pretty good.
And when do you turn pro though? Like, how long?
So I come back, play some tournaments, get better ranking, and then my big break came. Not even in like a sanctioned tournament. This was like a hole-in-the-wall tournament in Chinatown. So Chinatown, there's like this tournament. Every year they put on these tournaments, and you get these guys you've never seen in the circuit ever, man. Some guys,
like the underground drug cartel of like ping pong.
Oh my God, it was crazy. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because you get all these Chinese guys you never saw in your life, right? But these guys play every day, but you just don't see them. And I was playing this kid who was visiting from China, and the kid was very loud. Every time he went a point, he was like, "Yo, Chole, oh," yelling. And I was like, "What the hell is this kid doing, bro?" I was getting tight because this kid was just like noisy. And so then I said, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing too. I'm gonna bring the ghetto out." So I was like, "That's it, baby. Come on, send him back. Let's go." Talking mad trash, just talking crazy trash, and being loud. And at the end of the match, some people walk up to me and they was like, "Hey, do you know Rockstar Games?" And I was like, "Yeah, Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto, of course, man. Yeah." And it was like, "Well, we're thinking about making the world's first ping pong game." Yes.
I'm in.
Don't even ask again. The answer is 100%. You crazy? Make a ping pong game? I'm going to be involved. Oh, hell yeah. So I immediately said, hell yeah, let's do this. And I worked with them in making the world's first table tennis game. It's called Rockstar Presents Table Tennis.
So you're in the game?
Yeah. Yep. Well, my face is not in the game, but all the motion, my motion capture is the default motion capture for every character.
No shit.
And then they brought in some people to make it a little bit different.
What year was this?
Oh my God, this is, I don't remember, 2001, 2000.
Oh, so a while back. So you were.
Oh no, 2006.
So this is a while after Germany, though.
Yeah. This is before I start playing pro. I've been playing tournaments in America, and they asked me if I was interested. I was like, hell yeah, of course. So I make this game with them.
How you been making money this whole time?
Oh, through there. What do you mean?
Like after Germany and between this?
Wait, how did I make money? I don't even remember. I don't remember.
All right, we'll leave that.
Oh,
one there.
I know. I was doing. What was I doing actually? How was I making money? I definitely wasn't making money. But
like surviving.
Sure.
I mean,
I was surviving. Oh, doing jobs here and there.
Got it.
Started teaching a little bit for beginners. Like not really. I had a job working as an intern for Hype Williams. I don't know if you know Hype Williams.
No.
He was one of the most famous hip hop music video directors.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I worked there. I like off and on job. I remember I did some temp agency stuff that sucked.
Yeah,
where they send you to different places.
Yeah,
so it was just odd stuff, like whatever I could get.
But you're getting better and better at ping pong, playing all these tournaments.
Spending a lot of time in ping pong.
Got it. So now when this happens, is this when you go pro?
Yeah, because now I make this game with them, right? The game won Best Sports Game of the Year, beat Madden, beat what was the NBA Live?
Really?
Oh, kill it! It beat everyone because
cool.
It was the biggest talk, right?
Oh, it's released on Wii. That's probably a big part of it. I'm just looking. Game was released for Xbox 360 in May 2006, and then it went on Wii.
Yeah.
In October 2007.
Yeah.
This was probably baller on Wii.
Yeah. So it was the first game, real game. I still have it at home actually.
Yeah.
With the same original Xbox 360, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So now I make this game with them, and I was thinking. And like I said, remember I told you, I was always a smart kid. So when I said yes with the intention of knowing that it's a possibility that I could get sponsored to play pro. So the first time when I said Rockstar Games, I just thought, oh my God. Imagine me wearing Rockstar stuff. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So I made this game with them, worked really hard on it. Then the mistake I did make though was I should have told them, yo, put my face in the game. You don't have to pay me for it. That's why I didn't put my face in the game.
Would have been free marketing.
I didn't know anything about this before until much later on. I should have told them, you can use my face. You don't have to pay me. Just put it.
Right.
That would have been cool, right? To have my own face.
That would have been smart.
I mean, there's a black guy in there, but he doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I do this game. I do some traveling to promote the game, like go to Japan.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they had these parties in this crazy apartment where they would invite different genres of people. So one night would be hip hop night, one night would be tech night, and they would invite people to this apartment to play the game. It was crazy. So I did that, and that's the thing. So you know what, man, I want to play pro for the U.S. team, but I need money to do it. I said, you know what, let me ask Rockstar Games if they would sponsor me. So I said, hey.
You need money to play for the U.S. team?
Oh, pro? Yeah, for sure. Who's going to pay for you to go to China?
That's not, when you say U.S. team, are you talking about the Olympic team or?
Well, the U.S. team. So when you play in the Pro Tour, you have to represent someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you represent your country.
Yeah.
So you represent the U.S. team.
And there's not some sort of, I mean, this might be a dumb question, but some sort of United States Ping Pong Federation that sponsors their athletes?
So there's a USATT, right? But they're not going to pay for every athlete to go play all over the world.
Right.
You
have to make it.
That would take an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about it. If you're playing in let's say for me, I was playing 15 countries a year, right? That's a lot of money that you have to spend, right? Because you have to pay for airfare, you have to pay hotel, you have to pay food, you have to pay transportation, you have to pay entry fee, right?
Yeah.
So what the association is going to do is they're going to enter you into the competition because you can't enter yourself, right? So I can't say, oh, I'm going to go play German Open and just show up. No, the U.S. association has to enter you into the competition, right? So they enter you into the competition, then you're responsible to,
Understood.
Now, if you're number one on the team or you're number one U.S. player, maybe they'll pay for you. But even then, they don't really do it, right? because it's a lot of money. Maybe one or two, maybe the big ones they will. But you know, I didn't need that. I just needed them to enter me in the competition. Yeah. That's it. And I took to Rockstar, and Rockstar agreed to sponsor me. So that's how I got to travel and play all over the world. For
and
like 3 years.
You were pretty high ranked, no?
Yeah, I was pretty good. I was definitely pretty good. Not really ready for the pro level yet. Like I was getting killed. I was getting destroyed in the beginning, because I had the wrong mindset to begin with anyway. But I had the money to do it, and come on, man, I had the best looking clothes of anyone, bro. No one could mess with it, bro. I had Adidas clothes with.
Did you have the crazy hairstyles?
Yep, crazy hairstyles, Rockstar logo. Listen, I still have one thing left, because over the years, I've given all the Rockstar stuff away to like fans, because you know it's only one of that, and I'm the only one who has it. No one has it.
You give it away.
I give it away, like when I was traveling, So, can I get your shorts? People would ask me, like in China, can I get your shorts? Okay, so I'd go and I would give them the shorts, but there was only one set of that. It wasn't made for anyone. It was made only for me, right? So I was the only person that had these logos. So just the other day, I found in my house the last living thing from Rockstar Games sponsorship. I found it. It's a blue.
You better hold on to that.
Yeah. It's
Don't give that away.
It's a blue, kind of like I don't know, not plastic. I don't know, kind of material hoodie with the logo on it. And I found it in the house the other day, and I was like, oh my God.
You gotta frame that bitch.
This. Yeah. But yes, so they paid for me. And throughout the years, just playing in every major country in the world, I've been everywhere. Everywhere, you name it. I've been there. On Rockstar money, just playing ping pong. And I sucked.
Are you soaking in the cultures, it sounds like, when you're going there? Because it seems like when you went to Africa, when you went to Germany, you took a lot of joy in seeing how things were different there.
Yeah. No. I definitely, especially when I found out that they do hip hop outside of America. Because
what the fuck?
Yeah, because let me tell you, when I went to so I used to do a lot of hip hop. At one point, I wanted to be a rap star, and that didn't work out because the producer that was producing us, his kid drowned in the pool, and he just like he was done with everything. So he just left us, and then I was like, "Fuck this! I don't do it no more." Because we worked really hard. We did a lot of shows opening up for artists, and didn't work out. So I just said, forget about it. But then when I went to Germany, I saw kids like freestyle. I was like, holy shit, in German. And I was like, wait, they rap outside of America? No way. Don't listen to these kids in their German, freaking Hausen. And I was like, bro. So I would go over there and I would freestyle with them and I would rap. And I was like, oh, snap. And then in Germany is actually where I also got, the will to want to like make music. And so one of the son of the guy I told you about, the famous player, he showed me this program called Hip Hop EJ.
Hip-hop EJ.
It's a program where you just take like loops and you just put them together. You kind of make beats out of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I've been making these beats. And yeah, man. And so so then since that, I was like, oh wow, they do hip hop outside. So when I would go to different countries, I would always look for where the hip hop was. So it wasn't only about ping pong. So I would go for ping pong, and then I would look to see who I could collaborate with, or
that's cool.
Who I could meet that did hip hop, or where the hip hop clubs. Like I found the craziest underground hip hop clubs in China.
Yeah, I was gonna say on that note, you can stick with the hip hop angle of it as well, but like because table tennis is so big in China. Like you've said, that's like the biggest place.
That's crazy.
You had early exposure to like the rise of China, if you will, like in the 2000s. What were your takeaways being there? Like what did you see in the culture? How much of like noticing, because we're going to talk about North Korea in a few minutes, which is fucking wild. But like on China for a minute, like how much of like
the CCP culture is kind of within the people, or are they afraid of it? Like versus like also how into Western and pop culture they are. Like, what did you notice there pattern wise?
Man, so like I noticed they were really into Westerners, like especially me, because it was weird. Like you know what would happen? Like, so the way pro tournaments work is that there's a preliminary round, which kind of means shit, and then one person will advance to the first round, which means a lot.
Right.
And I would notice that, like, sometimes I would go to China and they would put me on the TV table. So there's a bunch of tables, maybe 16 tables, depending how many. Only one or two will have a TV camera that airs to TV.
Right.
The rest don't. So no one's seeing you play in the preliminary round. And normally in the preliminary round, not every preliminary match, there's only very few that may get on a TV table, right? So now there's very few that may actually get on a TV table. You can remember it's like 200 men playing this tournament. Very few get on the TV table. I was having sometimes 2 TV tables in the preliminary round, which is crazy. Why? I'm nobody.
Because you're the Westerner.
Exactly. And because I had a style and character that no one else had. And I remember one time I actually got upset about it, and I went to the organization and says, "Hey, can you please take my match off the TV table? I just played on the TV table." Right? Plus I was getting my ass beat. Right? I wouldn't put me on the TV table and get my ass beat. Right? I said, "Hey, can you please take me off the TV table?" And then they said, "Why?" They said, "Wally, you are good for TV." Oh, shit. They told me, "You are good for TV." Right? And then that's when I figured out, like, I don't have to be the best in the world. No, there's no one like me. I was like the Dennis Rodman of ping pong. I had this crazy hairstyle, had this crazy kind of hip-hop swagger that I bring to the sport. You know, yeah, of course I wasn't as good as the best or even close to it, but it didn't matter. The fact is that I could play a sport that I had no business playing to begin with, right? Everyone said, "Oh, why are you not playing basketball or rapping?" You know, that's what everybody assumed, right?
Yeah.
There was no one like me that played this sport. And I brought this flair and this energy and this craziness with the colored hair and making noise when I went up point. That's it, baby, let's go. You know, people were like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" Some people got scared, man. Listen, I'll tell you a funny story. I played one of my first pro tours, right? I remember very well. I played first German Open, and then right after German Open, I played Dutch Open. In German Open, I got smashed by everyone. All right, I was so nervous. It was my first tournament. Even I had to play some people that I actually trained with in Germany. I actually played against.
Full circle.
Yeah, where I played against them well in practice, and then tournament I start shaking, got killed. Tournament quick. Then we go to Dutch Open in Rotterdam, and no one knows me yet. No one knows me, but this one everyone will know me. And first I play against, if I remember, who did I play first? Was it Russia? And then I played Russia, England, and China. So I think I played England first, got killed. No chance. Beaten badly. Then I played Russia, got killed, beaten badly, no chance. Then I played China, right? And as you know, China's the best of the best of the best of the best. Anyone who's playing, as a matter of fact, forget about if they're playing for China. If they are Chinese,
they're good.
They're good. They're good. The first thing you do at night before you play the match in the morning, you look at your group. If you see a Chinese name, you're like, damn. And before I say this, it's not racist. This is how we say it. This is how it goes. When you see a Chinese, you go, God damn, I got a fucking Chinese. Everyone says it. Every single person, because you know, if it's a Chinese person playing and it's a pro level, they're good. They're damn good. So everyone's worried. Everyone's worried. So anyway, I get to play this Chinese player. I never forget his name. His name is Chen Chunji. I will never forget this name. I'll be 90 talking about this. And first game, he kills me. Second game, kills me again. Right? And now my friend, who's German, who I became friends with in Germany. At the time, I think he was number maybe 40 in the world. His name was Thomas Keineth, good friend of mine. and he's coaching me, and he says, and so I used to teach him some ghetto stuff because he's very German, and I said, no, when you make a point, you should go boop 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 boop. I taught him this: when you make a point, just go boop 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 boop. So now you got this really German dude. When he would make points, he would go boop boop boop. I taught him that stuff. Right, so he was a good friend of mine, and he told me, he said, Wally, come on, fight, boop, 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 right? So he kind of pumped me up, and then so I was losing. I think I was losing 3-0, and the games is 4 out of 7, right. 4 out of 7 to 11 points, and I was down 3-0 already, getting killed
on the brink,
annihilated, right?
Yeah.
And so I go back to the match, and I serve a very fast serve, and it's an ace. And I go, boop, 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 boop. That's it, baby. Let's go. This Chinese guy's never seen this in his life.
His fucking computer brain is just
he's never seen
crashing
this, bro.
right now.
And then I serve the same serve again, ace again, right? And the guy is like, and I'm yelling. I'm literally yelling.
You're breaking
at him. Like, oh, let's go. Yelling at him. Yo, the guy, he didn't know what to do, bro. Guess what? I won that game. And now everyone knew who I was. They was like, wait a minute. How is this like American guy winning a game, right? Then we play another game. We play another one because it's 4 out of 7. I win the next game.
3-2?
This is 3-2, baby. 3-2 against, and here I am, this American guy who just started playing ping pong, beating a Chinese player, which is, people are like, and I'm making the most noise in the hall. And again, remember, this is like a hall, huge hall, and I'm making so much noise. Everybody's like, all the top players are playing and looking, who's this crazy American guy, right? So I'm making all this noise, and then the score now is 9-6 in the 6th game, bro. No, in 6-8. No, it's 3-2. Yeah, so 9-6.
You're up in the 6th game.
9-6, right? So 9-6. I'm sorry. No, I made a mistake. It's actually, I won the first game. So it's 3-1, 9-6. 3-1. So I won one game. So it's 3-1.
So you're on the second game.
So I'm on the second game. I'm on the 5th game. Fifth game. So 3-1, 9-6. So it's 9-6. I'm up.
Playing to 11.
I should win this game. I think if I win this game, bro, I'm going to take the next game. So I'm pumped up, like this. And then the Chinese coach calls a timeout. Listen, if a Chinese coach calls a timeout for you, bro, you're doing something right. Yeah. Timeout, right? And my German friend speaks Chinese fluently. Like, he lived in China a lot of his life, trained in China. He's had always Chinese girlfriends, Chinese wife. And the Chinese coach is yelling at the Chinese guy, the player. And he goes, I never saw this guy from anywhere in my life. I never seen this guy. If you lose to this guy, you'll never play in this country again. And he's yelling at the dude, bro, yelling at him, right? And so then me, like an idiot, man. And this should be a lesson to anyone who's listening, who's an athlete or whatever it is you do in your life. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
And what I did was I put into my head that I could win this match. Let me calm down now. I lost 11-9.
You lost the edge.
Yes, I lost 11-9, bro. 11-9. So the points just...
But everyone knew who you were because of what happened.
At that point, everyone knew. All the top players in the world, everyone knew. And then they wrote an article about me. That was my first article ever. In Rotterdam, in Dutch, they wrote it. I had to get it translated, but it spoke about what's more important. Is it the skill or is it the mental? Because obviously I was in this kid's head. I was in his head. Now, mind you, he's way better than me. Like, I shouldn't get 5 points for him at that time.
Right.
5. I shouldn't even get 5. But I managed to win a game and almost take the next game. And it's because I was in his head. I beat him in the mental space, right? Wow. I made him nervous. I made him worry. I made him overthink. whatever he was thinking, and he almost lost the match. Yeah, so it was crazy. It was crazy.
So you're on the map after that,
Yeah,
for sure.
So after that, that's when everyone knew who I was.
And you're traveling around doing all these pro tournaments.
Yeah.
At what point do you get it in your head?
I know where this is going.
I'm gonna go to North Korea. Because I gotta tell you, that thought it's never come in my head. Like, I'm gonna go to North Korea. Why do you say to yourself, I want to go there?
Yeah, so now by this time now, I've been, making some waves in the sport. I'm getting better, and then I realized that, you know what? I don't need to be champion. I changed my mindset of stop trying to beat these guys. They've been playing since 3. You started at 17, bro. Like, you beating them is
like the top guys.
It's unlikely. So stop. Just be yourself. Go out there and have fun. So I started changing my mindset. Say, you know what? Instead of me trying to beat them, let me get 5 points. Let me start with that. Like, I can't get 5 points. So I started to focus on 5 points. Just get 5 points in one game. If you can get 5 points in one game, you're the world champion. And this is another way how I became pretty famous in the sport. I would get 5 points, and I would celebrate like I won the world championship. But I would lose 4-0. I lost 4-0. And people were like,
what the fuck is wrong with
this dude, bro? Yeah. But they didn't know. I started making these smaller goals so that I could accomplish. So I went from 5 points to one game. Let me get 5 points every game. Let me take one game. I'm the champion of the world. And I believed this shit. I believed it. And so I changed my mindset. So I started getting better and started getting more fame behind it. Started getting more interviews, right? Started doing big events now, where people are like, yeah, we want you to come and do our event, as a ping pong pro, Steve Harvey saying, we want you to come on our show. We want to interview you, all these interviews, all these magazines and stuff. And so, life was getting good as a player, right? And so I started to think, what can I do big this year? Right, because now I had this momentum of each year something big happened, and the year before that, like I said, it was a Steve Harvey show. I was doing a charity for ping pong in Virginia Beach, and then I was on their TV show, the Hampton Roads show. I was being interviewed on a TV show, and then Steve's producers saw that TV show and said, "Oh, we got to have him on the Steve Harvey show." So I did a Steve Harvey show. The next couple of days later. So that year was a big year for me. I did this and I did that. And then the next year was coming. What can I do big this year? So I started getting to the mindset of what can I do big this year? And I thought, man, I don't know, right? So I'm looking to see what tournaments I'm going to play. Okay, Japan, I'll play that. China, I'll play that. Germany, yeah, I'll play that one. Russia, man, play that one. Pyongyang, what? Pyongyang? Wait a minute. Pyongyang's North Korea. And I looked at it and said, no way there's a tournament. No way it's in Pyongyang. Yeah, Pyongyang, North Korea. And I was like, oh my God. Then it clicked immediately. I was like, oh my God, I should go to North Korea to do diplomacy for world peace. And
what year is this?
This is 2015.
Okay.
And the reason I got this idea was because, American history is a very big American history, which is a historical moment, which is called the ping pong diplomacy, right? In 1971, Richard Nixon was the president. America established relations with China through ping pong. China,
really?
Yes. China.
Oh, is that in Forrest Gump?
Yes! Forrest
no
Gump.
shit.
That is exactly what Forrest Gump is doing.
Yeah.
He's playing against the Chinese. And that was part of the diplomacy. China invited an American team to come over to China to play ping pong.
Ping pong.
So I was thinking, wait a minute. I can do the same thing. I could recreate or create my own history by going to North Korea and doing the same exact thing. So the first thing
How much did you know about North Korea? Like, as far as like how strict it was for Westerners?
Before I decided or after I decided?
Before you decided.
I knew nothing.
Right.
I just knew North Korea was
Bad.
like this bad place that you don't want to go to. But I thought the whole world would say, yeah, let's go as a team. I thought that I would.
Oh, your fellow U.S. guys would.
U.S., Germany, other countries around the world, Japan. I have friends now. Now, I have friends from all around the world.
Right.
So I thought that they would think it was a good idea that we should all go as a team and do the diplomacy of world peace. Because at this time, North Korea was pretty crazy, right? And everyone said, you're crazy. They were like, you're out of your mind. we're not going to North Korea. You're going to die there. They're going to kill you. You're not going to come back, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, all right, you know what? If no one wants to go, I'll go by myself, right? So I called the U.S. team. I says, hey, can you guys enter me into the Pyongyang Open? And then they were like, we don't know if that's a good idea. And I was like, no, but I really want to go. I really want to go. Just enter me, and I'll make everything happen myself. So they enter me.
Who's doing that? Like when you say you contact the U.S. Federation, like
there's someone who's let's say the head of there's a name for it. I can't remember the name. The name changes, but there's someone whose job is to enter the athletes into the tournament.
But are they like calling up North Korea? And North Korea does it?
No. This is all done via online.
But this might be a very, very ignorant question, but like, they don't even have access in there.
Oh, they have their own access.
But not to us, to their own stuff.
No, so for example, because it's an ITTF competition, there's an ITTF. I don't know how you would say it. It's all connected to the International Table Tennis Federation. Remember, sports. When it comes to sports, anyone can go anywhere. Pretty much, if you're playing representing a country. So there's a form that you have to fill out. And I think that form, like I've actually never even seen the form. I've never seen it because players don't get to see it. It's a behind the scenes thing. But I'm sure it comes from the ITTF, right? Okay. So the initial entry form definitely doesn't come from North Korea. It comes from the ITTF, which is International Table Tennis Federation, right? Because the tournament's governed under them. So no matter where this tournament's at, it's always going to be ITTF that's governing the tournaments. That's the international governing body, right? But I still have to go through North Korea because I have to. All this is the entry into the competition, right? But now I have to make a visa to get there. I have to have a contact, right? All these things now are done through North Korea. So I'm getting, correspondence back and forth with the Secretary General, because, once I'm entered into the tournament, I need to make a visa. Like, you can't go there without a visa. Yeah. So how am I going to make that visa? So,
as this is starting, though, is this when you start really looking into it?
Yeah. Now I start to, now that I'm registered to go and nobody wants to go with me, now I start to take a little bit more serious of possible things that can happen that can go wrong. Yeah. I'm very big on that. I'm very, very big on things that can happen that may go wrong. I had a brief problem years ago in Japan, so I research everything now. All
right, we'll table that one.
Yeah. So I'm watching all documentaries. I'm watching everything, and I think that was the same year that stupid movie came out. I wouldn't say it was stupid. It was actually funny.
Oh, The Dictator?
Yeah, that was 2001 it came out. So I see that. But I watch movies.
Wait, did that come out in?
That was 2001.
2001? We're in 2015 right now.
No, it was 2001. When did it come out? The Dictator.
Yeah, because you said you went to North Korea in 2015.
Yeah, it's 2015.
The Dictator.
What?
Well, the Dictator's the one with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
What's the one with with James Franco? Is that the one you're talking of, where James Franco's in North Korea or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
What the fuck?
I think there was one before.
The Interview.
2014. Yeah, there we go.
That makes sense.
Oh, snap. So wait a minute. The Dictator is a different one. Yeah, the Interview.
Is 2012.
Yeah, the Interview. Yeah. So that's right. That's right before. So that came out, and I watched a lot of documentaries. So I knew everything that could possibly happen, or everything.
What did you learn?
That you got to be freaking careful, bro. Like you got to do things correct. Everything,
What does that mean, though?
Meaning, like, they're going to ask you questions. Make sure you know how to answer those questions.
Meaning lie.
Yeah.
Like,
know?
are they asking you like, what do you think of our supreme leader?
How'd you know that? How'd you know that?
Well, I'm assuming like these are the obvious ones we
no,
all think of.
but that's an actual question. What do you think about our supreme leader?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got to say like he's great, right?
I said he's all right. Because I didn't feel like I wanted to lie, so I used slang. I always use slang. I'm like, yeah, he's all right, because that could mean anything, But that's what I did.
Do they know what I means though?
No.
They're like, what is this I?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, so I knew they were gonna ask questions. I knew that I would have no contact. That I knew. What I didn't know was that they would take my passport.
Oh, they take your
Oh,
passport
hell
when
yeah,
you go
bro.
there.
That's
Where do they put it?
They keep it. The hotel keeps it. They
Oh,
have
the
it.
hotel
Yeah,
takes it.
you don't have it. So like when I talk about a lot of times in some of my viral videos with North Korea, I'll say that I went to the most dangerous country in the world. Sometimes I say the #1 most dangerous country to rattle people's mind. I like to use English in a weird way. So I'll say I went to the #1 most dangerous country in the world. It's like, it's not dangerous. It's not dangerous. And
I'd say it's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous. And they'll say, oh, other countries are dangerous, like Syria. And I'm like, listen, being kidnapped, being blown up by bombs is not the only danger in the world. When you don't have access and you can't leave when you want, that's dangerous.
And you get thrown into labor camps or executed if you say one thing wrong about the leader. It's next level.
You have to be very, very, and it's real. Like it's you have to be careful.
Did you talk to people who had been there before you went?
No. I don't know. I don't know anyone who's been there. The only person I ever know who's been there is Dennis Rodman, and he's also one of the inspirations for me saying, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go by myself." I'm like, if that guy went, I definitely could go. seriously, that's one of my inspirations for going. But yeah, a lot of research, a lot. So I
So you know they're going to ask questions. You didn't know they were going to take the passport.
No, I didn't know that. That was shocking. And I was
did you know
oh,
like
shit.
what their? You knew you weren't going to have access to the internet, like the outside world. But did you know? Did you like what did you see when you first went there? Did you see abject poverty, or did you see what they wanted you to see?
Nah, you won't see anything. You're going to see what they show you. That's pretty much it. Like so, when I landed.
Well, how did you get there? That's another question.
That's a whole. You want to hear that story?
Yeah,
It's
please.
pretty crazy.
That's why you're here. Let's do it.
All right, this is gonna be fun. Because this is not out there a lot. This is some. It's crazy. All right, so first step, I get contacted, welcoming me to coming to North Korea. Then they say, okay, you have to go to Beijing. And I just came back from Beijing because at this time now I'm pretty good. I'm training in China.
Right.
And I just came back. And so you have to go back to Beijing to get your visa. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll go to Beijing to go get my visa. So anyway.
Because you can't do it in the U.S.
No. Only Beijing.
Wow.
Only Beijing. And so I go because that's the only place the North Korean embassy is in Beijing. So I go, I fly to Beijing. At this time, I've had this. Have you ever seen those one-wheel unicycle things?
Yeah.
You know who started that in this country, right?
No.
Me.
The one-wheel unicycle?
Yep.
You started it.
I'm the one who...
Fuck out of here.
I'm going to tell you how I started this. I brought 2 back from China before anyone even knew what a hoverboard was. Any of this stuff. This stuff didn't even exist in this country. So I found 2 in China, and somehow I was able to get them... I don't know how I was able to get it back, but I got lucky. I know why, too. I had very good status with an airline. I was like a global member. So, when you're like high status in the airline, they
What's that, like China Airlines or something?
No. I was United, and I brought two big.
Oh,
boxes.
like are you? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
2 big boxes of the wheel, and you know what? If you even Google this wheel, find any video that's earlier than mine's in this country, you won't find it. Mine is the earliest video. So I brought 2 back. Those became popular. So it's so long. It's the time is so long ago that I used to take my wheel, ride it in the airport, and ride it to my gate, pick it up, and check it in. No one can tell you that they've ever done that because they haven't been riding as long as I have. So I would carry this wheel everywhere I go in the world. It would go with me, just wheel. Get in the airport and ride it. So I brought this wheel with me back to China, and I I went to go look for the embassy. And as I'm riding to the address that they give me, I can't find an entrance to the embassy. So I ride around the whole compound because this is the embassy because there's 2 soldiers standing.
Yeah, you don't
there.
look sketchy at all.
Yeah, and so I'm riding around. I'm riding around the embassy looking for a door, right? And every embassy in the world has a glass door that says "Welcome." And what you do,
You sure about that?
I mean, possibly it should. I mean, everyone I've been to.
Yeah, I can think of a few that probably don't.
But you go inside,
Right, yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know where you can go in.
Yes.
So I couldn't find a door to go in. There was a big metal door. It looked like something out of some crazy movie. There's a soldier who told me that I can't stand there, so I had to go across the street. So I go across the street, and I called the number that they gave me, right, the contact. And I say, hey, as soon as they say, hey, they go, oh, Mr. Green, how's this guy have the number and know it's me? I have no idea, right? And I say, yeah, it's me. He goes, hey, where are you? I said, I'm trying to get in, but I cannot find the entrance to get into the embassy. He goes, oh, don't worry. I'll be right out. So I'm standing across the street from the North Korean embassy, and this guy comes out. I see him coming out. And he comes across the street. Hey, Mr. Green, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Oh, man. He goes, welcome to coming to North Korea. They don't like to say North Korea, by the way.
They say DRPK? Or
DPRK.
DPRK.
Yeah, they believe.
Why do they do that?
Because they believe there's only one Korea. They don't believe in North and South. So it's democratic.
It's like the one China thing.
Yeah.
There's only one China.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. So he comes out and he goes, hi, thank you, blah, blah. He goes, I need your passport. I said, no, what do you mean you need my passport? He goes, yeah, I'm going to take your passport to go make the visa. I said, what do you mean? We're not going to go in? Oh, no. I will make the visa. I said, bro, I'm not giving you my passport. Are you crazy? And the reason why I didn't give you my passport is because I don't know if you know this, but if you lose your passport 2 times in 7 years in America, you will not get a passport from the country that you're in, right? So normally if you lose your passport, if you're in China, you go to American Embassy, they'll print you a passport, temporary one, and you can use it to get back. If you lose your passport like I did twice, I'm speaking from experience, I've lost it twice because I didn't think I thought a passport was just a piece of paper. So I was just losing that shit. One time I lost it in New York, and the other time it got stolen in China. And the third time, when I did lose it in China, they would not give me a passport. They said, no, they said we can't issue a passport. It has to come from your government. So what they do is they're going to investigate the hell out of you to make sure you're not selling it. But luckily, I have a friend who has some friends in politics, and I was able to get my passport back. But that's another story. So anyway, I didn't want to give this guy my passport because I don't know him.
You don't want to risk it.
Yeah, and what if I lose my passport again? Maybe I can never travel. I don't know what it was. So I was like, no, I'm not giving my passport because I can't afford to give it to you. I don't know you. And he was like, no, but this is how we do it. We take the passport, we go in, we come out, bring it back. So I took out my phone, took a picture of him. And the guy freaked out. They was like, what are you doing? I'm taking a picture of you. Why? Well, because if I'm giving you my passport, then this is a picture that I can show the authorities. This is who I gave my passport to in case I don't get it back. If you give me my passport, I'll delete the picture. And so then, so then he agreed. He took the passport. I got on my wheel, went and rode around, right? Got some food, came back. Now, I come back, call him, say, hey, he calls me and says, oh, passport's, visa's ready. So I come back to the same spot across the street. Now, picture this. You have a black dude, right, looking like me, with glasses on and maybe crazy hair. And you have this little Asian dude coming out. We're standing across the street from the North Korean embassy. He's handing me a passport, and I'm handing him cash. There's all kinds of wrong signals there. The dude's giving me a passport, right? Because I have to pay for the. Now I have to pay for the thing, and I'm giving him cash. And we exchange.
They don't take Visa.
No. Oh, that's a whole. Listen, that's another story. So now this part is done. I have to leave tomorrow because you make the visa today. You got to leave tomorrow, right?
To go to North Korea.
Yeah. It's the day before. So now. Next day, I have to go to the airport to fly to North Korea.
What do you fly on?
So what I did was I chose the North Korean airline.
Oh, my God.
Because Do you know North Korean airline has the
know they
number
had
one?
airplanes.
Yeah, listen, it's the worst rating of all airlines. Number one.
You don't
is
say.
the North Korean.
I wonder why.
So
duct tape on the fucking wings.
So I wanted to get the full feel of what it was like to go to North Korea. So I could have took Air China, right? I could have took the Chinese airline, but I wanted to take North Korean. So it's called Air Koiro, right?
Air Koiro.
So now I have to go buy this ticket for the same minute I'm leaving. So I go to a smaller airport in Beijing, which I've never been to. This is like the kind of, how we have. Actually, all our airports are major. Do we have a small airport
like
in New York?
Maybe I know less. I might get yelled at for saying this, but you know how like Chicago has O'Hare and it's like the biggest airport ever.
Yeah.
But then they have like I think it's called Midway.
Okay, so let's say
Isn't
like
that smaller?
Yeah, it's like Midway. So is there a smaller airport? I've never been there. No one speaks English in this airport. It's crazy. Like freaking, if you go to the international. Everyone speaks English, but this one, no one. So I'm trying to find the North Korean airlines. No one knows what I'm talking about. I'm spending just too much time looking for this place. Can't find it. Mind you, it's actually inside. So you actually have to go into, like, past where all the, you have to go through immigration first. And then you get to the North Korean thing to buy the ticket. So it's not outside. It's actually inside. So I go inside. Finally find the place, and I say, hey, here's my visa. So they give you a visa, and it's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper for a reason, so that they can take it back later. So it's a piece of paper, and I go, and I say, here's my visa. I want to buy the ticket to go to North Korea, and I give it to them, and then they told me it was like 300 something. And
They're looking at you like you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're kind of looking at you weird, and then I take out my card. And they go, oh, sorry, no card. What do you mean no card? It's like, oh, cash only. What? I said, I said, I've traveled the entire world. I've never bought a ticket with cash in my life ever. Like, is that even
Well, you're in
legal?
North Korea now, bitch.
So they're like, no, cash only. So now I got to go back out, go to the ATM, and take out $340 US in RMB, which is Chinese money. So now I got to take a bunch of money out. My bank's like flipping out. What the hell's going on? This guy's like trying, what's going on with his account. And I go back and I pay them in cash, right? Now they give you a receipt that has a number on it. They didn't give me a boarding pass, right? So, oh, wait, even better. No boarding pass and no return ticket.
Oh, that's
how you like
promising.
that,
Yeah.
right? So I go.
I'm out at this point. I'm gone. I'm on the first flight back to fucking New York.
So I go to them. I says, "Where's the boarding pass?" Oh, you don't need it.
No boarding.
Someone's gonna take you to your seat,
Hmm.
right? So someone will escort you. And I said, "Okay, how about when I want to come back?" And they said, "Oh, it's okay.
You're not coming back."
So they said your guide. And I didn't know I knew what a guide was. A guide was someone who's gonna, kind of like help you. It's like your babysitter.
You knew what it was?
I knew what it was.
Okay.
It's like your babysitter.
So when you get there, you have one.
You have a guide, yeah. And they said your guide, when you're ready to come back, you tell your guide will make the ticket. Well, actually make the reservation.
So anytime a non-North Korean comes into the country, they have a guide.
Yeah, you have a guide. That person is your babysitter. You cannot go anywhere, do anything without that person. That person will escort you to where you need to go, take you to where you need to go. And
God damn.
And that's the person that's going to report back to the government.
Right.
Each person that is a guide is the elite, and they work directly for the government. So everything you say, they're going back.
Goes to the government.
So that's why I say you have to be very careful what you say, because it will go back. So anyway, I was like, that's crazy. There's no ticket to come back. It's mad. But I really wanted to go, and so I took their word. That I would be able to tell my guy would come back, and I was just excited to go to North Korea. No one's been in North Korea, so I was like, I really want to go. So they escort me. They escort me to my seat, and when I was going to sit down, I noticed that everyone had these pins, these little pins. Like everyone wore a pin. Everyone.
Like the passengers.
Yeah, they all wore these pins. Even the staff. And I was like, oh man, these pins are cool.
Like a regular. You mean like something
pin.
you just put on your suit?
Yeah, like you know how the president of the country.
Yeah, the lapel
was the flag.
Yeah, it's the lapel.
Well, they all had pins, and in the pins were pictures, and the pictures were of the supreme leader, or the supreme leader and his dad, or the supreme leader, his dad, and his dad's dad,
the grandpa,
right? And everyone had one. Everyone had a pin, and I was looking, and I was like, man, I want one of these pins, right? I was like, everyone has one. I don't have one. Everyone has one. And the only people who didn't have one also were Chinese who were flying there. And I was like, oh man, I want one. So there was this stewardess, right? And I talk about this in my daily news article. There was a stewardess. She was pretty hot, right? And she looked so sweet and nice. And I thought, oh man, this is a great airline. The seats, the seats are nice. It's clean. There's hot stewardess. Like this is. North Korea is not that bad until I asked her for a pin.
What'd she do?
So I saw the pin. I was like, hey, she came smiling. Oh, can I have that? She gave me the dirtiest look I ever got and just walked away.
And you're like, uh-oh.
And I was like, what the hell? And I didn't realize how important those pins were until later.
So they're like an official thing.
Yeah. Like you can't lose that. Like you cannot lose that. It'd be a serious problem. Like that every citizen has to wear that. You have to wear it. There's not one person I saw in North Korea that did not have it on. Like every citizen has to wear it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So now we get to I get to North Korea, and I'm pretty excited. As soon as I come down the escalator, it says welcome to Pyongyang, and there's my guide. And they purposely
were you told at this point you were gonna have the guide?
No, I knew.
You knew, but had they? Okay.
Oh, I didn't know when she was going to show up. I didn't even know she was going to be a she. But she happened to be a she, and she happened to be pretty hot. And you know why?
Oh, they want to trap you.
Oh yeah,
they want you to try.
So they know everything about you before you go there.
How?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, but they do. They. No one goes. Listen, no one goes into North Korea without them knowing who you are. They might search your social media. Social media for sure, because when I came back, I'll tell you the story later. When I came back, my social media was acting crazy. So they searched everything, and they knew that I was into Asian chicks, and they knew this, right? Because
they probably planted the fucking stewardess. Too.
Listen, maybe right. Listen, think about it. Why my guide? Now, there's a lot of athletes there who were not from North Korea, from Syria. How come my guide was like the hottest, like by far, like she looked like a model, and I get there, I see this guy's like, oh snap, damn, what's going on, bro? Like, yeah, this is looking good, and I was like, and in my mind, I'm like, man, North Korea is not this bad. Come on, this I mean, okay, I had a little issues, but come on, look at this. So I get this guy. She introduces herself to me, tells me that she's my guide. They take all my shit. Computer, phone.
Where they put it?
They do something with it. I guess they check it to make sure, because there's certain things that you're not supposed to bring. Like you can't bring books, you can't bring music. So they check it. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, you basically can't bring your phone.
Yeah, well, no, you can bring your phone. You can bring your phone,
but it has music on it. It has books.
I think they search. I don't know what they do, but they take it from you. They took my computer, they took my phone, they took it from me for a little bit before I left.
And then they delete all that stuff off there?
No. They gave it back. I mean, I didn't have music on my stuff anyway. I have books on my phone anyway. But they gave it back. They gave it back. I don't know. I don't know what they did with it. And you never know what they're really doing with it. I mean, it is technology. And so they gave it back. So I have my computer, I have my phone. Because my phone is where I have all the footage of everything I did every day. I filmed every single thing. Oh yeah, I'm doing
You filmed?
Oh yeah, I'm doing a documentary about it now.
You were allowed to film?
Yeah, so you can film. So being not allowed to film is a misconception. You can film anywhere they take you, but you cannot walk out of that place and go film on your own, because then you'll be into some serious. So I have footage of every single thing I did every single day. But anyway, I meet the guide, and she introduced herself to me. I'm like, oh, she's hot.
She speak good English?
It's okay. But it didn't matter because she was hot. So it was like, it didn't matter. It was like, yeah. But I knew I knew not to try to like, push up on her.
Yeah, because if you go for that,
exactly, you might be in big trouble. So I was a good boy. I was a good boy, and she and two other guys took me to the hotel. So we got to the hotel. I saw the hotel. I looked up. It was amazing. Everything looked amazing. Driving through the city was a little strange because you didn't really see a lot of people. It looked like one color. Like it looked weird. There was one huge black hotel. It was all black, very tall. But I heard about this in the documentary. It's not real. It's just for looks. And then as you drive through all these sort of like huge buildings. I have this on video too. Huge buildings that are for sports. So, in America, we have buildings that we use for different things, right? We have, maybe this building can have basketball, wrestling. Right. They had a building for each sport, a huge building. And it would have the sport of it. Basketball, boom, huge building. Tennis, boom, huge building. Swimming, huge building. And you see all these buildings in a row as you went by. And the buildings, I don't know if they actually use them. I don't know what it is. But they're definitely meant to make you feel like, wow. Because I was like, wow, this is incredible, right? Then they bring you to the hotel. And like I said, the hotel looked really amazing. They charge you premium dollar for this hotel, mind you. And then they took my passport. And I was like...
At the hotel?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't get my passport. And they said, oh, we have to hold it. And then... That was when the reality sunk in. Reality didn't really sink in that bad, even with all the craziness with the, the visa and not getting a boarding pass. But once they took my passport, then at that point, in my mind, I was like, yeah, you are really here now. Like, this is real. And I was like, all right. So I didn't have a passport. I couldn't contact anyone.
How long were you planning on being there again?
Originally, I was supposed to be there for about 7 days.
Okay.
But I got out early. But so anyway, after that, now it's time to practice, to get ready for the tournament. And I practiced with the North Korean team. It was so it was crazy. It was crazy. Because remember,
how'd they react to you?
Yeah, so there was no Westerners for me to practice with. There was no team. There was nobody. Right, I don't know anyone from Syria. I didn't know anyone from Vietnam. Right, and so they said, "Oh, you can practice with the North Korean team." Okay, so, all right. So
what could possibly go wrong?
The dude was looking at me like I was crazy. He was looking at me like I was crazy. Like he was looking at me like I was really crazy. And so, but once he saw me play, he was surprised. Right, so the sport broke the barriers down that he had, because in the beginning, he didn't look friendly at all. But then once he saw I could actually play, then it kind of was like, okay, maybe he's cool because I could play.
And where are you guys practicing?
Oh, in the training hall. There's a training hall. So my every day was from my hotel to the training hall, to the tournament hall, to the training hall, to my hotel. Hotel, training hall, tournament hall, training hall, hotel.
Is the guy just sitting there at each place?
The guy comes to pick me up every single day and sits there, waits for me to finish, then brings me back. And so practice with this the North Korean. It was pretty fun. It was cool. Then I asked him to take a picture after, and I have the picture, and he's just like...
you didn't really have any real conversation with him. You're just practicing.
Nah, he can't speak English.
Yeah, there's there's no translator there or anything.
No, there's no so you're not allowed to conversate with North Korean citizens. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know.
You're not allowed to. So, for example, while I was there in the hotel, there was a girl right across from me was she from England? So I can't remember where she was from. I was wondering what the hell she was doing in North Korea. And she said that she applied for this job to teach English. And she said she didn't think she was going to get it, but she wound up getting it.
Oh, my God.
So she teaches English there. And I was like, oh, how is that? She said, in a very low voice, because they're listening to you, it's pretty crazy. She says that when she goes to teach, the guide brings her, sits there for the whole lesson. She's watched. As soon as she finished the lesson, she's taken out. So there is no fraternizing with the
Oh my God.
with the people with the kids.
It's like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. So it's not like, in every other normal school, what happens, right? After the class, some kids come up to the teacher and you talk. It doesn't exist. No. Immediately, she said, as soon as lesson's over, immediately she comes, there is no talking. There is no talking with the kids. You teach, and that's it. And so that's why you don't get to talk to normal North Koreans. You won't have the opportunity to, right? Because everyone I'm talking to, even if it's a North Korean, is an athlete or part of the government. But a normal person, you will never have a chance. Never. So, this is my everyday life. And then, but there is one crazy thing that happens. Now I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, right? Because I've been there, it was like
couple days,
like 2 days now. Yeah. And now I'm ready to, not really start trouble, but I like to see how far I can get. It's just something I like to do when I travel.
Put your hand on the coffee till it burns.
Yeah, a little bit. So I had never met brainwashed people in my life, like someone who's like really, truly brainwashed. I never met, and I wanted to see the extent to how how much brainwashed are you really? Like, is it our media which always says all kinds of crazy things about the world? It's not true. Like, I want to know myself, just for me. So I started a conversation with my guide, and the conversation started like this. I said, "Hey, you guys really hate Westerners, but why do you like me?" Right? Now, I don't know if they like me, but the reason I'm saying why you don't like me is to diffuse any kind of idea that I'm starting anything. So I'm being really smart about what I'm doing. And she goes, "No, we don't hate Westerners. We just don't want Western influence. We want the pure Korean culture." And of course, I want to get deeper, so I agree. And I say, "Yeah, I agree with you. Us Westerners, we mess everything up. I'm trying to get on her good side."
Yeah.
And then I say, "But in order for any country to get to that next level, you need the influence of other countries, other surrounding countries, Western countries, all countries." And she said, "That's not true." I said, "No, it is true." I said, "Look at every major country in the world. They have influence from the world." And she says, "That's not true. Everything in our country was done by our great leader and this and this and that." And I said, "Yeah, but your great leader has Western influence." Now I'm going into the yellow.
You said
that? It gets better. It gets better. So
how'd she look at you when you said that?
She gave me this look. She says, "That's not true." Immediately, I said, "Yeah, it's true." I said your great leader first of all, your great leader speaks English very well, and your great leader loves basketball. She says, "Basketball created by our great leader." Bro, listen. When I tell you, I held in this laughter so hard. I had to hold it in, because if I would have laughed, I'd probably been arrested. I hold it in, and I had to move on to the next question, because when she said that, I in my mind, I was like, "Yeah, you are brainwashed," because common sense would say your great leader's what, 28? Basketball has been around forever. When he created basketball, when he was like 9, 6, like it doesn't even make sense. So I left that question on and I moved on to another one, right? I'm in the yellow now. And I said, okay. Do you know that your great leader studied outside of North Korea? Now, no. Bro, now I'm in like a bright red, right?
Oh.
And she goes, "That is not true." And now I'm getting kind of pissed off a little bit. Because I tell you, remember we had the conversation before? I said I get pissed off when people tell me I can't do shit, or when I'm wrong and I know I'm right. Like, I get pissed.
Keep your wits here.
So now I'm forgetting the whole purpose, and I'm getting pissed off. And I'm like, this is true. I'm like, the whole world knows this. I say, he studied in Switzerland. Bro,
does she even know what that is?
I don't know. But I said study in Switzerland. And then she goes, "That is not true." And I go, "Oh my God, yeah, you know what? You're so right. Oh man, I made a mistake. That was the Cuban president. I'm so sorry. Oh my God." Because the way she said that is not true,
she was gonna report.
I just saw 20 years hard labor for corrupting the minds of the citizens. I just saw it flash right.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
that's like the crime, corrupting the minds.
So, yeah, and I just saw I saw it flash like right in front of my face, like just flash. And I got myself out of that shit so fast. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It was the Cuban president. I didn't even know who the Cuban president was, bro. Yo, and I threw it out there, bro, and ended that conversation real quick.
And how did her like?
She laughed.
That's another thing. She laughed.
Yeah, when I said the Cuban president, she kind of like smiled, like because I was looking for that smile because I was really worried at this point.
That's interesting. That humans, no matter what, have certain emotions that even in the oddest of spots they can feel, because you don't just, a fake smile can happen, but like you can't fake smile if you don't really know how to smile.
Yes,
right.
Thank you.
So she knew to like this is something that in her brainwashed ass, like she found funny. For real.
Yes.
And so it was so like you see how like even when you're brainwashed you can still feel, and you don't have access to other humans around the world and what they think and feel, meaning like no impetus for it, and your life is kind of miserable, but it's the only life you really know. You can still feel real emotions like you and I do. That's bizarre.
That's and that's gonna bring us to the next part of this.
Okay.
Right, exactly. It's crazy. You just hit it on the nail so hard, right? So after all of this now, I get to play against the North Korean. Now, mind you, I went to North Korea without a plan. How do you do diplomacy for world peace? I don't know. I'm a kid from the projects. How do you do it? I don't know.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Exactly. I thought I would figure it out when I get there. I thought it was something that I was passionate about, that if I really believed it was going to happen, it would manifest itself. It would find a way that it would show me, the lights would open up, and I'd be like, oh, that's how you do it. Right? I had no idea if I was going to do it. But I got to play against a North Korean opponent. Now, I could have played against a Chinese and a Syrian, and I would have just said, hey, I went to North Korea. That was it. But I did get to play against a North Korean.
And this is official. This isn't the training.
Yeah, this is a match. And
in one of those buildings you were saying? Like one of those main sports buildings?
In the table tennis hall where they have the pro tournament.
How big? Like how many people in the stands?
5,000 people.
Oh, shit. Wow.
All North Korean.
And we have this on video.
Yeah.
Because you were taking your own video.
Exactly.
You were allowed to.
Exactly.
So I'll put that in the corner of the screen.
It's one of my viral videos, actually, is this.
Yeah.
So as I'm walking out to play this North Korean, me and him were walking out together with the two umpires. And people are looking at me like I am crazy. Like you could feel it. Like when you walk out and 5,000 people look at you, you know. If you walk out and one person looks at you, you don't know. But if everyone looks at you, you can feel it. You can see everyone's eyes.
But they had seen, to be like very basic about it, they had at least like all seen a black person before now because Rodman had been all over state TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like, oh, wow.
So they're probably like, who the hell is this black person?
But they know.
Who's this? You can remember, I got lined. And I think when Dennis Rodman went, I don't remember if his hair was done the Dennis Rodman style.
I don't believe it was, but I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Right, because you remember, I had all kinds of lines in my head, like designs. And listen, you would not be surprised how, I don't know if you call it ignorance or just not knowing. I've been asked before, was I born like that? Yes. So if people don't know, they just don't know.
And I'm pulling up a picture behind you, by the way, of Rodman. Every picture you see of him, he's wearing the hat.
Yeah. So they didn't even see the hair.
Yeah. So I can't really tell if he had something going on up top, but he's literally got a hat in every
man,
picture.
so I must have been, so now this sheds more light. I must have been real crazy to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I have my hair the way it is now, bleach with crazy designs in it. And it might have been a color. I have to go back and look at the video. It might have been a color. I don't remember if it was a color or not, or if it was just bleached. But yeah, man.
I'm going to try to pull it up while you're doing this. You in North Korea. Is that it right there?
Yeah.
Is that the picture with the kid?
Oh, that's the dude, bro. Look at his face.
And you got the full bleached hair.
Yeah,
I'll put that in the corner of the screen.
Yeah. You see his face.
See, he didn't know what to do there.
No, you can
tell.
tell.
Whereas your girl knew to smile when she felt something was funny.
Exactly.
But right here, he's like, I don't even know what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
No body language
That
whatsoever.
was my practice partner.
Wow. Wow.
Like no body language. So
you go into this stadium, you're playing against
I get
a
to
new
play
guy,
this guy.
some other North
Everyone's
Korean.
looking at me, and you hear these murmurs. Like, I don't know what they call them, like this. Just, and if 5,000 people do this, it's crazy. It is the most craziest feeling. So I'm looking up, and in my mind, all kinds of movies are playing out. Like, suppose everyone just came and just wanted to attack, kill the American. Like, I would be so dead. There's no way I could escape this. All kinds of things are going through my head. So we get to the table. We inspect each other's paddles because you have to check the paddles, to see what kind of rubbers each one uses. And after that, we start to play. And now I go into fight mode. Now the brains change, the mindsets change. I'm no longer worried about the 5,000 North Korean people. I'm about to kick this guy's butt. I'm going to kick his ass. Let's go. And so the first point, I make it. Second point, I make it. Every time I made a point, there was sound.
Like in the stands.
Yeah, like this. Like just horrible. Like just really eerie. Like just weird. And
sound. You're not being yourself yet. You're just kind of.
I'm not even loud yet, bro. Yeah. I'm not even like loud. I'm just playing, right? And then every point, right? And I'm like, damn, this is weird. And I'm like, all right. So then he makes a point, and they start clapping, but very loudly. Now, mind you, there's other matches going on at the same time, right? But every person is watching my match. Everybody's on me. And he made another point, and it got loud, really loud, to where they were cheering. Made another point, loud. And every time he made a point, it got so loud to where I couldn't concentrate. So they weren't clapping for him. They were clapping against me. It's different. There's a difference. It's a difference when you...
Interesting.
Right. It's different when you're just clapping for your guy to win than when you're actually clapping against someone and letting them know that you're not supposed to win.
You.
You're not supposed to be here. And so they did it so much to where I started to get upset. I started to get pissed. Now I'm starting to get pissed off, and I'm starting to get angry because I can't concentrate. It's just so loud. It's so loud, and I've never been in that situation before. Usually, I'm always the underdog, right? So no one's clapping against me. No one,
right.
No one in the world is clapping against me. Maybe I go to China. I go to China playing against the Chinese. The Chinese people are clapping for me because they know I got no chance, right? They're clapping for me. So I never had this experience where I was like hated and no one, and so anyway, I get upset. I'm upset and I'm in my head now, and I look up, right? And I really want to just like freaking curse everyone now. I'm like, fuck all of you, and shut the fuck up.
They wouldn't know what you said.
Yeah, but I really wanted to say like, shut the fuck up, because that's my favorite word. Shut the fuck up. But I thought, and like I said, I always have that guy on my shoulder, and I thought, well, you know what? Don't forget your purpose. Don't forget why you're here, right? Don't forget, And I thought about it. Yeah, that if I did that. That would just solidify what they think about Americans, that we're evil, we're animals, we should be killed, we're the devil, and this is what they're taught. And so I just looked up and I smiled. I don't even know where the smile came from. Because I don't smile a lot. I looked up and I smiled. And when I smiled, I noticed that there was a different tone immediately. Like there was a little bit of like a chuckle. It didn't sound like that sound. I was like,
they recognized that.
And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So then I was like, Wally, this is where it's going to happen. Your diplomacy world peace is happening right now. Right now. You need to focus on the crowd because that's who you have right now. So then I would play, I would look up, and I would smile. Guess what? They would smile. And I was like,
no shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, people are smiling, right? And then I would laugh, and they would laugh. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So I was like, oh man, this is it. So I play now for the crowd. So then when I did make a point, I would go, yeah! Right? And they would laugh, right? A little bit. You hear little chuckles. Of course, when you made a point, they would clap louder. To the point where towards the end, I would make a few points and people would clap a little bit, right? Ooh. And this is a group of people that hated me when I first came in, right? And so then at the end of the match, I wind up losing to the North Korean opponent. And you have to shake hands after every match. It's sport etiquette. Even if you hate the person, it doesn't matter, right? You shake hands. So when people don't want to shake your hand, what they do is that they put their hand out and they leave their body back.
Right.
So it's
And they
kind of
lean
like
away.
this. It's almost like the body doesn't want. It's almost like I'm shaking your hand, but I'm not really a part of this handshake. And he tried to do that to me. He put his hand out to kind of like touch my fingers, and I grabbed him by his arm, pulled him in, and gave him a bear hug.
Holy shit.
Yo, gave a North Korean kid a bear hug, but he's probably never been hugged in his life.
What did his body feel like?
Yo,
Freaking out?
So the beginning is really funny. So I tell you, I'm recording this, right? I'm recording this.
Yeah, you have the camera.
So my camera's behind me, facing his face. Now, I didn't see the face until later, but I'm going to tell you what happened. I held him, and when I held him, his face was confused at first. Then guess what? He smiled, right? Now, like you said, you just mentioned before, you can't fake that. No. That's a human emotion. He smiled because he probably enjoyed the hug that this crazy black dude with yellow hair gave him. Because if he was scared, his face would have stayed the same. But his face was first like this, and then he smiles, right? And that
And he probably got hung later for it, but...
Yo, listen.
Shouldn't be laughing, but Christ.
Listen, this video went viral, and that's the number one comment. It's like, you just sent this to guy to death.
Yeah, this dude's done.
Right? So, but he smiled, right? And I thought, man, if I went all the way to North Korea just to get that smile, just that one smile was worth it. All those people who saw that hug, they even cheered, they clapped, and they cheered for the hug, right?
Oh, all the fans
Yeah,
did?
yeah. So that means that they're human, just like us. And there are emotions that even the government can't control, because I'm 100% sure that if he had a chance to think about whether he was going to smile or not, he probably would not have smiled.
Sure, but it's a reaction.
But it's a reaction. Yeah. It's a human emotion. You can't control it. So for me, the diplomacy for world peace of what I did is a success, because a lot of people say this. A lot of people go, oh, one person can't make a difference. One person can't change the world. And I say, I agree with you. It's not our job to change the world. You can't change what doesn't want to be changed, but it's our job to plant the seed. That's what our job is. I can't change him, but what I can do is put some scenarios in front of him to make him think. So by planting the seed, by giving him that hug, for the rest of his life, he will never, those people, 5,000 people and him will never forget that hug. It's never going to be forgotten. There's no way you forget something like that, right? So if years down the line, the government says, yeah, all Americans are evil and they're bad. And
not this one.
Exactly. People are going to remember, hey, you know what? I remember this crazy guy with yellow hair that came. And even though he lost the match, because I lost, in defeat, he still hugged our guy and showed respect. So that's the seed that you plant that hopefully in the future, that creates change.
It's a true Tupac Shakur way of looking at it.
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee I'll spark the mind that will.
Exactly. Yeah. And I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah.
Spot on.
But man, it was incredible. Like, it was just incredible. And then when I saw that smile, because I didn't see the smile until much later. I didn't check the footage.
What did it feel? Because, you see it on the footage from the other side later, but what did it... First of all, how long were you bear hugging him? Like 5 seconds?
Yeah,
like
5 seconds maybe.
Like, what did it feel like? Was it like dead fish body? Or did you feel him start to...
No. At first he was like... you could tell, like... It was like you said with the picture. He didn't know if he wanted to be hugged or not. Right. Like, that's what I felt. Like he wasn't, like, pushing away, but he also wasn't coming in. Mm-hmm. Right? It was like that middle, like you said, like... He didn't know if he wanted to be.
But then at some point
he
committed.
You can see he kind of committed, right? And he smiled. And that was cool. Like, oh my God. That was, like when I saw that footage, when I got back, I don't think I saw the footage until I got back to America. And I saw it, and I was like, holy shit, he smiled. I was like, that's crazy. And I was like, oh my God, that's
And that was the
amazing.
only match you played?
I played against China, in China.
Oh,
I played China first. So I played
in North Korea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played against China first, and then I played against the North Korean guy. And I'm sure that was set up. I
don't know. Could have been,
100%. I'm sure that being the only Westerner, they're not gonna put me against Syria and Vietnam. They have to put me against a North Korean, and the reason why is because they always want to make to their people that they're the greatest.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you remember the soccer thing. You remember the soccer thing, the Brazil thing? You don't know about the soccer thing? So apparently,
Refresh my mind.
So apparently they played the World
familiar.
Cup. They scored the first goal. And then they said, yeah, you see, we defeated the greatest country ever. But they got annihilated.
Oh, right.
They got destroyed. I think it was like 10-1 or 8-1. But they did score the first goal, though.
That's where the game ended.
And that's where the game ended. So they always have the need to show that they're powerful. And that's why if an American gets detained, the only way you come out of North Korea is if somebody who's high in political world comes to get you.
Yes, because they have to show legitimacy, no?
And they have to say, you see, the great this leader, blah, 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 came all the way
the great Dennis Rodman came here.
Yeah.
Give him a Nobel Peace Prize. Let's be honest.
Seriously, man.
Christ, that is such a...
It's crazy.
You really live something, forget the ping pong aspect of it, like even without that, you live something that so few people, at least in the Western world, ever will, or frankly, ever want to. I mean,
right.
I'm curious about it. Like if I could teleport there, without anyone knowing and just take a look for a while, I'd do it.
Yeah.
But like I have less than zero interest in ever fucking going there as things stand right now.
Right.
And yet you spent 4 days there and like you said, you were training and then what day? Like day 3 are you playing the matches?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the 4th day, what are you doing before you leave?
Actually, I think it's 5 days I stayed there.
Okay.
Because day 3 played, day 4 was kind of like that was the day I decided I wanted to go back. So
why did you decide you wanted to go back?
Because I lost already. I was out of the tournament. They asked me if I wanted to go on a tour, and I didn't want to do the tour because the tour would just make me angry. Because I saw the documentaries, and the tour is going to places that are doing a lot of American bashing. And I would definitely probably get myself arrested. So
good call.
I stayed away from any kind of tour stuff.
How much did you see then outside the hotel and the places?
Like on the way going to the places, you see.
And
stuff
what did
like,
you see?
Like you see, I saw very few people. I didn't see like a lot of people. I didn't feel like it was like New York City or like it was kind of like in the morning. There's a video I have where I videoed the morning. There's not one car on the road, bro.
Yeah, man.
There's nothing.
You know what I would think from the total outside, the way I kind of imagine it on how it's explained? It's almost like the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Like there's a few bit characters who are there to just kind of like act like they're there for real, but they're really not. And it's just empty streets that look a certain way and everyone lives behind them. And now this is different than the Truman Show, but everyone lives behind them in fucking less than slums.
Yo, listen. I'll tell you one more story I forgot to tell you. So, and this is what led me to want to leave. So I told my guy, I says, listen, I've been here a couple of days already. Can we go outside? Like outside. Across the street was like a beautiful park, big park. And when someone says they want to go outside, I mean, I guess common sense says I want to go to the park. It's like right there. And she says, oh, yeah, we can go outside tomorrow. Okay, cool. So tomorrow comes. Morning, I eat breakfast. She picks me up, and we go downstairs. Then we go outside of the hotel, like where the cars pull in, and then she just gets on the phone and starts talking. I'm looking at her like, what's going on? and then she's a good 10 minutes just talking, and I'm like, what was this girl doing? And then I say, hey, can we go to the park across the street? She goes, oh, sorry. It's forbidden. What do you mean?
Go to the park.
Yeah, what do you mean it's forbidden? No. It's forbidden. You can't go. Yeah, so I was not even allowed to go with her to the park. And
I wonder what's there.
No, I know why. So, like I said before, they don't want citizens and any Westerner conversating. All the people that you conversate with are the elite. They're trained to talk to you in a certain way. They're trained to ask you questions in a certain way. They don't want you to influence. They don't want you to influence any of the citizens, right? If I go across the street to the park, there's a possibility that a citizen could be there. It's a possibility that I could look at them, possibly I could smile at them, maybe try to talk to them.
Like not an elite.
Right. Even just my presence would be an influence. Right? Because they would see me, they would see that I tried to talk to them, or I tried to reach out to them, or I smiled to them. That's an influence, right? And they're not trained for that. So that's 100% why we couldn't go to the park, because it's a park. And we just stayed downstairs, and then I decided, and even when I wanted to leave, I told her, I was like, I want to leave tomorrow. Really, like tomorrow. And then she was like, oh, and then, so I almost got upset again, and I was like, I want to leave tomorrow, and then she goes, oh, I don't think it's possible tomorrow. I said, no, it's possible tomorrow, because I asked them. Now because I tell you, when people tell me I can't do shit, I get upset, and and now I was already fed up. I didn't want to be there anymore. I couldn't go to the park, couldn't do anything. Now I finally felt like I was in jail. Like now it really felt, it didn't feel like jail before, but now it felt like jail, because now I wanted to do something and I wasn't allowed to do it. And now I'm angry. And I said, no, I want to go tomorrow. And she says, I said, no. I said, they told me that when I want to come back, I tell you, and you make the ticket. I want to leave tomorrow. Now I'm getting upset. Now I'm at the point, because, sometimes when you grow up in the projects, sometimes, we let our anger get the best of us when we should just
it's a human
trait,
thing,
man. And to the point where 100%. Like, bro, you can get arrested. You're so angry you don't even care.
You're not.
At this point, I didn't even care, man. I was like, I want to leave tomorrow, and I'm getting angry. And then she looked a little bit angry, and she said, and she goes to me, okay, tomorrow I pick you up. Like, the hell? So I went to the hotel. I was pissed off. I went up to the hotel, and she's 6 o'clock in the morning. She said, I'll call you. She calls me. She says, tomorrow 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Like, what the fuck? Like,
let me sleep in.
No, I wasn't worried about that. I was thinking, there's no flights at 6 a.m. leaving North Korea. That's the first thing I was thinking.
I'd take you to labor camp.
Listen. Hold on. So I'm like, wait a minute. She picks me up, 6 a.m. in the morning. I was like, this is crazy. So now it's me and two other guys. Two guys in the front, me and her in the back in the car, right? So now we're going. And I realized, hey, where's my passport? They didn't take my passport, bro.
Oh, it's still at the hotel.
So we had to go back to the passport. And now, listen, now I'm getting a little worried now. Now I'm a little worried. Like, how you forget my passport? So, what's going on? So this is no joke. Like, so they take me back to the hotel. They get the passport. And the two guys are just weird in the front. Like, when people just feel weird, like the whole situation feel weird. And now I have a good memory. And they were taking me back to the airport in a different way that I came. And this way looked really strange. Like it didn't look like the grand streets of things where I saw. This was some kind of like back alley shit. And that was the first time I got a little worried, man. So I had a pencil, a pen in my bag. I took the pen out and I had it in my hand. Like I tell you, like whenever I get a little like nervous like that, like I'm at the point where, you're not putting me in no fucking camp. I'm gonna die here, but someone's gonna die too. And that's the mentality I had since I was always a kid. Like I would fight 5 people, but I promise you, the one person that I grab, he's going to get it maybe a little bit worse than I'm going to get it. And so I took the pencil. I had a pencil in my hand. I just held it in my hand like this in the corner.
Shit.
Because now this is the first time I was scared. I was never scared the whole time I was there, except with that conversation a little bit. But now I'm worried because, when I told her I wanted to leave, I was not nice at all. As soon as she told me I couldn't, I kind of like blew up. I didn't yell, but my voice raised and I got really upset. And now I'm thinking these motherfuckers are taking me somewhere. And I was a little worried, man. I was a little worried. Had the pencil in my hand because I'm saying the first person that grabbed me, I'm fucking stabbing them in the neck. I'll die here, but someone's going to die. And then as we're pulling out, I don't know why they took... honestly, I think they did it on purpose. That English teacher told me nothing happens by chance. She said nothing. She told me everything. That's what she told me. She said, be very careful. Nothing is by chance. Everything they do is planned. And I think, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's true, but I just feel after, what she said and what I've seen, that because I was upset, maybe they wanted to scare me. And I don't know if it's true, or maybe they just took a different route, but this was not the route that we took. And it looked crazy. Streets were smaller. It looked like a place like they would take you if they were trying to fucking take you to.
Oh my
so
God.
All I kept thinking was like, oh shit, yo, are they fucking taking me somewhere? Because I kind of like yelled at her, like, and I'm like worried. But then we came out and I started to see the airport from a distance, and I was like,
thank God.
Oh man. But that was the only time I was like really, really scared, man.
So, but she gets you up to the airport and you get right the fuck out.
She gets me to the airport. No, they didn't buy anything. I guess the ticket was there. I don't even know how it worked, bro. She just takes me to the airport.
North Korea airline or whatever.
Same thing. Takes me to the airport. I still don't have my passport, by the way. I go, the immigration talks to me on one side. I go through to the other side. So I pass through the other side, then that's when they give me my passport. So they give me my passport back, and then now I'm in the airport waiting for the flight. But then now I have to be mischievous again. So apparently, before I went there, I found out there's some alcohol, which is like sort of kind of forbidden for Westerners to buy. It has a snake in it, a big boa constrictor, big snake. So alcohol with a big snake in it.
Wait, like a
real
snake.
Yeah, real boa. The bottle's about like that big.
And it's got a snake inside.
Big one. And the snake. So I wanted this alcohol because I heard about it.
The fuck?
Yeah, I heard about it before I went there, and so I asked the they sell some stuff. Like before you can leave, you can buy. And I say, hey, do you have the alcohol with the snake in it? It's like, oh, no. And I was like, come on. I know you have it. Oh, no. I said, come on, man, come on. I won't tell anybody, please. I really want to bring this back to America, please. I know you have this. Because the person that told me about it said, hold on. Oops.
Oh, your headphones are off?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So the person that told me about it said that you have to just keep asking. And they'll probably give it to you. So finally, they spoke Korean to each other. They said something, and the person went in the back, and they came back out with this box like this, about that big. And they charged me $300 US. Bro.
Was it shit, too? Was it total shit?
Listen. It, you know what? It was worth the $300 because I brought it back, and I brought it to the club. Yo, listen, this is crazy. So it looked crazy because it was a real boa, and it was kind of like fermented, like it was spoiled at the top, like the head was like the head was like it was crazy.
That's got to be illegal.
So it is. So I brought it back to the club, but when I was coming back, to the U.S., so a lot of people asked me to have any problem from the government because the government didn't know I went to North Korea.
The U.S. government didn't know.
No. They don't know I went to North Korea.
Oh, because you did the visa.
I didn't tell them it's visas in Beijing. As far as they know, I went to China.
She went there fucking blind.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So,
but like the Federation didn't inform the government you were going?
No.
You sure?
No. They didn't know. Because when I came back, right, when I came back, it was real funny. I went through immigration. That was fine. But the people who check where you go, it's not immigration so much. It's customs. Because you fill out that form.
Yeah.
So when I gave my phone to him, okay, go. As I was walking out of the airport, the custom officer called me back. He said, hey, come back.
Where the fuck were you?
It's exactly what it was. He was like, what? He's like, this says you're in North Korea. And I was like, yeah.
Yep.
And he was like, why and what were you doing in North Korea? I said, well, I went to play table tennis ping pong for the U.S. team. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly. Hey, listen. Oh, my God. Yo, that's...
Frank, get along with this guy.
Yeah.
This dumb fuck.
Yo, listen. Bro. That's exactly was his reaction. And after that, he said, bro, he goes, listen. He says, listen, I've heard a lot of stuff, but that's far-fetched. That's what he said to me.
And you had the videos, though.
I said, listen. I said, Google my name right now. I play ping pong. That's what I do. And he literally Googled my name and saw, and he let me go. They were about to take me in the back, bro. They were about. And
That
then,
would have been a funny conversation.
listen, no, but I was scared. I was really scared because I had the alcohol in my bag.
Oh, that might have been an issue.
Yeah.
Because it's got like the dead animal in
definitely
there.
been an issue, bro.
Yeah.
That's so illegal, bro. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to go through my bag. They're going to find this fucking alcohol with a snake that I wasn't supposed to bring back. I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I'm going to be in so much trouble. But he Googled me and he saw, and then he let me go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I bring that alcohol to my club, shared it with people at the club. People drank
disgusting,
it. I made them
but
play
okay.
games. It was very disgusting.
I'm never going to drink that. I'm sorry. Don't give it to me.
Oh my God. But yeah, man, that trip was crazy.
That is absurd,
insane,
man.
insane.
So you went and did something that, as I said, none of us pretty much are ever going to do. You lived, but you also left behind that little seed that, as you put it. And that's pretty cool because, there's that woman, Yingming Park, or I definitely fucked that up.
The one that defected?
Yeah, she's on like every podcast
yeah,
now.
Yeah.
And I've seen her on a couple different podcasts. She was on Flagrant. She was on Joe Rogan. She's been on a bunch of stuff. And you hear about what the people over there go through and how, just like you said, they have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it is unfathomable. And for you to give them just a little something, of humanity to hold on to is really, really cool. And I'm glad you got to do that. But your life, man, like what you've done for yourself and being an entrepreneur and becoming a pro table tennis player and traveling the world and doing all this against all odds is an amazing inspiration too. And I really appreciate you going through that in full today, kind of how you got there and how, yes, like there are some people like that guy who kind of took you under his wing a little bit and sent you to Germany, and then some of the pro players you met that certainly, are credit along the way to you. But a lot of what you did was you finding yourself in situations and having to tell yourself what it was and adjust to your surroundings and learn on your own. I mean, you're someone who was kicked out, left your house, I guess, under wild circumstances at 16. I mean, all the odds were against you, and here you are today. And for everyone listening out there and watching, I'm sure they feel the same way I do. That's a pretty fucking amazing thing.
Appreciate that.
Well, listen, man, I'm really glad you came down here and did this. This is an amazing story that I hope more people will hear through this podcast and through others. But I'm gonna have to come up to the New York location to spin. By the way,
let's go.
You said it's way bigger than Philly, right?
Wait.
Let's fucking go.
It's gonna be fun, bro. You gotta come.
And again, if people haven't been to a spin in New York, Philly, Boston, DC, where all these locations are, you got to go. It's fucking awesome. So looking forward to that. But thank you again for coming down, and we'll do it again sometime.
Definitely.
All right, everybody else, you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace.